right.
Good?
Yeah.
All right, Shalom. First and foremost, we're going to give all praises to
Yahweh, Ba'Hashem, Yahushai, Ba'Hashem, Rakha Kodash.
Yahweh being the Heavenly Father's name.
You get up in there. I'm in it.
And Yahushai being the one people ignorantly call Jesus Christ. All right, we're out here to prophesy once again, like we do every week. We're out here to warn our people, so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans, let them know that they're the chosen people of the Lord, and then let the heathen know the judgment that's coming upon this earth and why everything's happening, why you see COVID-19, why you see uproars of the people. You know, this is what we're out here for, you know. So let's just go to let's start in Matthew 24. Hey, double tap.
You're right. This is Matthew chapter 24 and verse 3. And as he sat upon the Mount of Olives, the disciples came unto him privately, saying, Tell us, when shall these things be? And what shall be the sign of thy coming and of the end of the world?
So the disciples, they went up, they asked the Lord himself, they say, look, what's going to be the signs of the end of the world? And let's see what the Lord says.
Verse 4. And Yahushua answered and said unto them, Take heed that no man deceive you, for many shall come in my name, saying, I am Hamashiach, and shall deceive many.
Yeah, so there's a lot of people out here that's saying they're coming in the stead of the Lord, coming to teach. They're saying they're anointed by the Lord to be out here teaching. But what? They're going to be deceiving many. All right? Because not everybody that reads out of the Bible it knows what they're talking about. Because first and foremost, you have to be given the understanding through the Spirit of the Lord. Okay? Go ahead.
And ye shall hear of wars.
You shall hear of wars. Is there not wars taking place right now as we speak? All right? China, India, look at the Middle East. All right? Look at America. Go ahead.
And rumors of wars.
And rumors of wars. You got just beginning with the year 2020. What happened? You had America kill the Iranian general Soleimani. You know, that was rumors of wars. Then you got Iran and Israel having scuffles. You got North Africa and all kind of having scuffles. Just wait for this a little bit. You know, so there's wars and rumors of wars everywhere. All right, America and in the Americas, in Asia, in Africa, the Middle East. All right, all these things are taking place on the earth right now. Go ahead.
See that ye be not troubled, for all these things must come to pass.
Yeah, see that ye be not troubled, because all these things must come to pass. All right, that's why we're not out there protesting Black Lives Matter. All right, we're not trying to, you know, take things into our own hands, because we know these things got to happen before the Lord returns.
That's right.
Right?
But the end is not yet.
Yeah, the end is not yet. It's going to get a lot worse out here in America. All right, you think that racial tensions are bad right now? Give it a couple more weeks. All right. You think that the world's in a horrible condition? Give it a couple more days, okay? It's just going to continue to get worse and worse on the earth until the Lord returns. And then when the Lord returns, contrary to popular belief, he's coming to kill.
For nation shall rise against nation, and kingdom against kingdom, and there shall be famines and pestilences and earthquakes in diverse places.
Yeah, so you got kingdom against kingdom, you got different nations against each other, all right? There are these different countries against each other. You got racial tension stirring up. This is all biblical prophecy. So this has been prophesied thousands of years ago, and now it's actually happening on the earth. Go ahead.
All these are the beginning of sorrows.
All these are the beginning of sorrows. So again, it's going to continually get worse. All right, America's not going back to normal. America's not going to be great again. All right, America was never great. All right, America was built off the so-called Negroes, Latinos, Native Americans on our backs, on our sweat, blood, and tears. So it's just going to continue to get worse for this place. All right, mainly America, because of all the atrocities that have been done here. All right, all the lies, deceit that have been committed here on this planet. I mean, on this land. All right. Okay,
This is Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 1. Isaiah 19 verse 1. the burden of Egypt. Behold, the Lord rideth upon a swift cloud, and shall come into Egypt, and the idols of Egypt shall be moved at his presence, and the heart of Egypt shall melt in the midst of it. And I will set the Egyptians against the Egyptians.
Yeah, that's what the Lord is doing. The Lord is stirring up things in Egypt, as he did before, man. But this time it's going to be a lot greater, because back then, the Egyptians were fighting each other. So that goes to show you that this is prophecy. All right, now the Egyptians against Egyptians. That's why you got people fighting in the streets. All right, that's why you're going to have civil unrest, civil war, okay? Racial tensions rising. That's why you got Jake knocking the hell out of Esau in the streets in these protests, snuffing them, pow. You know? Because what? The Egyptians against the Egyptians. And then ultimately, when the shit really hits the fan and it gets so bad where you have to invade your house, you have to invade others' houses, right? It's going to get to the point where nobody's going to have pity upon you, man. Nobody's going to care about your feelings. They're just gonna put you to death, man. Just for the lack of bread, like the Saint says, man.
And they shall fight every one against his brother, and every one against his neighbor.
Yeah, what about the Christians? Like say, oh, we're all brothers, we're all neighbors, blah blah blah. You know, well, the scriptures say that you're gonna be fighting against your brother. You're gonna be fighting against your neighbor. All right, little Timmy next door that you've been borrowing sugar from. All right, he's gonna be coming at your throat when he runs out of food. You know what I'm saying? Because it's gonna be a fight or flight mode in these last days, man. And it's already taking place right now. You see the tensions, you know, it ain't all smiles anymore. Because what? Things are getting real. And when things get real, you see the true nature of these people. Go ahead.
City against city, and kingdom against kingdom.
City against city, kingdom against kingdom, man. All right? You're going to have all, right now, you know, they start with peaceful protests, then they burn down buildings. They might flip a couple cop cars. But it's going to be a time where, you know, when martial law's out here shooting people in the streets, there's going to be people ravishing through houses looking for food because the stores ain't bringing nothing in. You know, it's just going to continue to get worse. It's all downhill from now on for America. Or it's not going to. Trump didn't make America great again, and now they're trying to reelect him, talking about keep America great. What do you mean? What did Trump do to make America great again? See, Trump wants to make America great to put these people back in slavery. That's what he means by that. Put Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans back in their place. You know, that's what he's talking about when he says make America great again. All right, because when he was running, most of his campaign when he was running was talking about get these Mexicans out of here, man. Showing the hatred that he got for you so-called Latinos. And then what? Now he's showing the hatred that he got for you so-called Negroes, man. Today, as a matter of fact, he's having a rally out there in Tulsa, Oklahoma, where they had the Black Wall Street, where 300 plus people were killed. All right, bombed, murdered. Okay, that's Trump's way of making America great again. All right, putting the ones that made this country great into subjection, slavery. Well, you got a great you got something coming for you, man, because you're going into slavery. Okay.
Verse 3, and the spirit of Egypt shall fail in the midst thereof.
Yeah, the spirit of Egypt is failing. Look at ain't nobody. Where are all the mega hats at? Where all the proud Edomites are at? You know, the only ones still trying to hold on to America is the 2/3 of our people, man. Talking about let's be equal. We want equality. Black Lives Matter. All right. The Lord never said nothing about black lives in the Bible, man. First of all, black, that's not even a nationality. That's a damn shade. Okay? Go ahead.
And I will destroy the counsel thereof, and they shall seek to the idols and to the charmers, and to them that have familiar spirits, and to the wizards.
Yeah, because these Americans, they're gonna try to go back to what they've been using this whole time, man. But it's all that's gonna fail them, man. All these demonic rituals they've been doing, because everything that you see out here is going into that, man. Those charmers, you know, the familiar spirits. This is what America runs off of, man. Demonic vibrations. But it's gonna fail you in these last days, all right?
Verse 14.
Okay, guess what?
Yeah, going into them
how this place was pretty much established in witchcraft. Isaiah 47 and verse 12. Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth.
That's right. That's why in Revelation 17 it talks about the mother of harlots, the witchcraft, the mother of witchcraft, man. All right, because America was established off of witchcraft, man. That's why they call it Hollywood. You know, because that's where they put out them spells, and where do they send it through? They send it through that black mirror, the television. All right, the TV called programming. All right, they program you through that television, man, and it all goes back to Hollywood. That's where all the main shit goes back to, and then, you know, Hollywood goes back to Hollow Stick or Hollowwood, which who uses that? The warlocks and witches, man. So this is what America runs off of, man. Witchcraft. All right, you go to the local CVS. The symbol is a damn witch's bowl, man. So they're showing you, and the matter of fact, the word pharmacy goes back to the Greek, pharmakia, all right, meaning witchcraft. So when you go to the pharmacy, you're going into the witch's house, man. You're going to get you're going to get them concoctions that they own brewed up, man. Yeah. Go ahead.
Isaiah 47 and 12. Stand now with thine enchantments, and with the multitude of thy sorceries, wherein thou hast labored from thy youth. If so, thou shalt be able to profit.
They labored from their youth with this, because what? The founding fathers that they like to celebrate, those are nothing but warlocks, man. Make top high level masons that do what? Nothing but witchcraft. All right, that's what they deal. That's how they deal. See, even the music, that's witchcraft. But where's that come out of? You know, the mainstream media. I mean, the mainstream comes out of Hollywood, man. Everybody wants to make it. That puts spells on people, man. Go ahead.
If so be, thou shalt be able to profit. If so be, thou mayest prevail.
And they're not. America's not going to prevail, man. Because what? America was established off of witchcraft, murder, lies, deceit, all right? All kind of abominations. So for all the crimes that this place has committed, man, not the land didn't commit the crimes, the people that stole this land committed the crimes. All right? Esau, Edom, the devil the Bible speaks of. All right? Go ahead.
One more. Isaiah 47 and 13. Thou art wearied in the multitude of thy counsels. Let now the astrologers, the stargazers, the monthly prognosticators stand up and save thee from the things that shall come upon thee.
Yeah, go to them now. You know, because they're wearied in their counsel, they're trying to figure out what to do next. How can they overcome the elect? You know, what can we do to catch these guys up? But what? Go to the stargazers, man. Go to the dudes that talking about the zodiac calendar and all this and that. None of that's gonna help you no more, man. Because the Satan, the actual spirit, all right, which is a angel on the left hand side of the Lord, he's starting to draw himself back from the Edomites, man. Because for all these years he helped you. He was giving you the plan, so to say. He was telling you, all right, you know, this is what you got to do, how you got to do it. But now he's starting to fall back, because ultimately it's time for your downfall.
He did what he needed to do. He told y'all what he needed to do according to the plans of the Heavenly Father. Because when you read the book of Job, you clearly see that Satan works for the Heavenly Father. He follows the orders of the Heavenly Father. So the Heavenly Father, like the brother said, allowed him to go and do these things and tell these Edomites things to get to the level to where they are, so that the Lord can then bring them down. Because the Lord deals with the other nations differently than how he deals with the nation of Israel. You know, the Lord will allow a certain period of time to go by to let them their tab amount up, and then he'll judge them. And that's what he's been doing with Esau, Edom, because he's been in power, man. Esau's been in power since the Renaissance. Going back to Isaiah chapter 14, or select chapter 19, Isaiah chapter 19 and verse 14. It says, the Lord hath mingled a perverse spirit in the midst thereof, and they have caused Egypt to err in every work thereof.
Yeah, so this is the perverse spirit. All right, the American way, all right, American lifestyle, that's a perverse spirit. It causes what? Death. All right, they promote homosexuality, they promote pedophilia. All right, they promote everything contrary to the scriptures, man. And that's why this place is failing. That's why this place is going down, because everything about this place is contrary to the Lord.
as a drunken man staggereth in their vomit.
That's what America is. America is just a drunkard, you know, wallowing in its own vomit, man. This place is completely intoxicated, drunk, and it's made other nations drunk through that, you know, because everybody else want to partake of this nonsense, man. Everybody else want to drink of the cup that America's been passing around, man. And what's the end of drinking out of that cup? Is you're gonna end up in your own vomit, man. Go ahead.
It says, verse 15, neither shall there be any work for Egypt, which the head or tail, branch or rush may do.
Yeah, that's why you see unemployment at an all-time high. All right, because the perverse spirit, this has you know, inspired into these people. Now you got all kind of uproars, the COVID-19, but wait, it's all because of it's a cause and reaction, you know.
And also, you know, going into the government, they're running out of, well, not even the government, the elites, they're running out of things to do. You know, they've gone so far that they're running out of ideas. You know, they have the main idea, which is New World Order, but now things are being stirred up out here where Esau Edom is just making hasty decisions, and you see it. You see how stupid the government looks. You know, they look like damn fools. That's what it is. They're running out of ideas, so they're just going out with the first thing that comes out their head.
Doing that on the fly. They're just making, like Brother Red, they're wearing in their counsel. Because, you know, they're doing all these counsels, but what, they just got to make quick, you know, they got to react quickly. Because the Lord's speeding the days up, so they got to react quick. They don't know what to do, you know. So they're just, you know, making shit up on the go, you know. Like right now, Tampa's supposed to be everybody's supposed to be wearing masks if you're indoors, which makes no damn sense. So if you're outdoors, you don't have to wear a mask, but if you go indoors, you got to wear the mask. But only if you got to be 6 feet. It don't make no damn. These people are bugged out, man. It don't even make no sense right now, you know. Nobody. That's why people are out on the beaches, because what, everybody's seeing that everything that Esau's talking about is a bunch of bullshit. So people don't even trust the government no more. That's why there's gonna be, and it's happening, sedition among men, you know, uprising against the government. All right. Well, that's why you got the president of the United States doing a rally today, and there's protesters out there. People are protesting the rally.
All right, this is Isaiah 28. And I read 7 and 8. Isaiah chapter 28, verse 7. But they also have erred through wine.
And what's that wine? The philosophies, all right? The philosophies that America pushes out to all these other nations, right? And that the philosophies that have established America under. Go ahead.
Isaiah 28 and 7. But they also have erred through wine, and through strong drink are out of the way. The priest and the prophet have erred through strong drink. They are swallowed up of wine. They are out of the way through strong drink. They err in vision. They stumble in judgment.
That's right, man. And that was pertaining to you know, Israel back then, and now it's pertaining to the enemy. You know, because they're erring off of this strong drink. Their own ways that they have set up is falling upon them, man. It's backfiring on them. You know? Go ahead.
Isaiah 28 and 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness.
Yeah, this place is just diluted, man. It's disgusting. America is disgusting because it's like, you know, like somebody throws up in front of you. You gonna stand there and, you know, smell it and shit, standing? No, you're gonna get out of there. So all this is, America's just one big pit of vomit. Okay? Because what? The philosophies. All right, the democracy. America is just one disgusting cesspool of wickedness. All right, that's why the Lord's going to destroy this place. Go ahead.
Isaiah 28 and 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean. Read again.
Yep.
Isaiah 28 and 8. For all tables are full of vomit and filthiness, so that there is no place clean.
That's right, man. America's nothing but filthiness, man. You turn on the TV, all you see is wickedness and filthiness, man. You send your kids to school, they learning how to choose their gender, man. A kid in kindergarten is presented whether you want to be a man or a boy or a girl, man. That's wickedness, man. That's filthiness, man. You turn on the TV, you see homosexuals playing around, man. All right? here in America, they allow homosexuals to get married, but then they swear the president in on the Bible, but the Bible tells you to put homosexuals to death. So why does America talk about in God we trust? What God are they talking about? It ain't the God of the Bible. This place is filthy, man. And what do you do with filth, man? You get rid of it, man. You sweep it out out of there. And the Lord's gonna sweep this place with nuclear destruction, man. The best of the beast of destruction. Go ahead.
I got that right here. Finish that up real quick.
That was it. I'll read it.
Okay. Read it. Read it again. What was that? 23.
Yep.
Okay, done. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 23. Isaiah chapter 14, verse 23. I will also make it a possession for the bittern and pools of water, and I will sweep it with the besom of destruction.
Yeah, the besom of destruction is going to be what you call nuclear missiles, man. ICBMs, intercontinental ballistic missiles. The nuclear destruction is in the Bible, and that's how the Lord's going to take America out. Nuclear destruction, all right? Because for all the pollution, spiritually and physically, okay? For all the atrocities that's been committed in America, this place just got to be swept off the face of the earth, man.
Right? Saith the Lord of hosts. That was it on that one.
So that's what the Lord's gonna bring to America, man. One of you guys get Nahum. Look at that 1 and 3. Talk about the woe to the bloody city. Because this place got to pay for its crimes, man. You can't just go scot-free. Here it is that America tries to hold everybody accountable on the earth. Well, guess what? Now the Lord's about to hold you accountable for your crimes. All right? War crimes. All right? All the atrocious acts, heinous crimes you've done to the chosen people. To this day, you never apologized for it. You know? You never gave back the land that you stole. Because if you were really felt sorry for what you did to the native people here, you would just leave. All right? And give the land back to the original people. But you're not going to do that. We know that. So that's just another thing the Lord can add to your rap sheet, man. Go ahead.
It's Nahum chapter 3. Start at the top of verse 1. Nahum 3 and 1. Woe to the bloody city.
Yeah, woe to the bloody city. How much bloodshed was here in America, man? Going back to the indigenous people, the so-called Native Americans. Then when they brought the slaves over here, how much blood has been shed of our people in America? Huh? Why people are protesting about Black Lives Matter? What about the Native Americans that were almost genocide, man? What about the Latinos on the islands? All right, when Christopher Columbus brought his devilish ass over here, man. The Mexicans, all of the Americas. That's why they named it North, Central, and South America, because they conquered all of this side of the earth, man. Where's the protest for that? All right, and Black Lives Matter is nothing but a big joke. All right, you got more white people out there in the Black Lives Matter marches than you got Negroes, man. That's a joke. You telling me that people that put you in slavery are gonna care more about Black lives than you do? Come on, man. It's a whole psyop they got going on. It's a big joke, and they're mocking you in your face about it.
So Nahum chapter 3 verse 1. Woe to the bloody city. It is full of lies and robbery.
Yeah, lies and robbery, man. First and foremost, they robbed the land. They robbed the people. They stole the people, sold them. Okay, lies. They tell you they try to omit certain things out of history. Okay, they tell you that Christopher Columbus discovered America. That's a lie. All right, they try to say that they were peaceful with the Indians. That's a lie. All right, they try to tell you everything you learn in school is mainly lies. Okay, everything the curriculum that they teach you is lies, man. You know, they'll throw in there a little bit of truth here and there, because if it was 100% lies, then people will see right through it. So as long as they throw some truth in there, people ain't gonna question it. But America was established on lies. What happened to the over 400 treaties that they signed with the Native Americans? That was a lie. They didn't uphold them treaties, man. All right, and that goes to show you that Esau's that serpent, man. He's a damn liar. He was a liar from the beginning, you know.
And that's what brings the confusion, you know, mixing the truth and lies.
Yep.
That's why people are confused. They don't know what's the difference.
Exactly, because that's why when they hear the full truth, when they hear us, people bug out because they've been their whole life they've been told, you know, indoctrinated on what the devil, your oppressor, has told you. So when you hear the truth, you're like, nah, that can't be it. You know. Go ahead.
Nahum 3:1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not.
Yeah, the prey depart not. Who's the prey, man? The Israelites, so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans. We're the prey. All right, we were the ones in slavery. We were the ones that the so-called white man came over here and butchered, stole our land, put us in slavery, put you in the cotton fields, and we're still here to this day. But you think the white man he changed somehow? Nah, man, he's the same devil that he was back then, and he ain't never gonna change. All right.
This is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 13, and verse 23. Jeremiah chapter 13, verse 23. It says, "Can the Ethiopian change his skin, or the leopard his spots? Then may ye also do good that are accustomed to do evil."
Yeah, the Lord created this. The Lord said He created all things, even the wicked, for the day of evil. So the Lord created a whole race of people to be evil. They can't change, man. If they do something to help you out, it's because they're trying to undermine you. They're trying to overthrow you. They got an alternative motive than to help you. This is the wicked we talking about, man. You know, this is an evil man. Look at the track record. If you were to go to court, you know, if somebody brought out your rap sheet, oh, this guy's he's been selling drugs, he's been murdering, he's been stealing. What they gonna do? They're gonna throw the book at you. They're gonna lock you up for life. So what about this so-called white man? Look at his track record. He stole America. He lied about it. He butchered people. He dropped bombs everywhere on the earth. He's the biggest pedophile on the planet. But somehow he's trying to help you out. He's the good guy. Yeah, he's the good guy. You want to be equal with this guy? Come on, man. This guy he has a history of being a devil. Because what? The Lord made him to be so. He can't change his ways, no matter what. All right? The Lord specifically created him to be the evil. All right? To bring evil. That's why Maccabees, let's get that real quick. Maccabees chapter 1. All right?
Wickedness multiplied.
Yep. Because what? Esau really came into power during the Greek Empire. All right? That's the first time he ruled supreme on earth. And let's see what happened according to the scriptures when he started ruling, man.
This is the first book of Maccabees, chapter 1. And
it's like 13 or something like that. 12.
Maccabees, chapter 1.
This is should be like 12. But right after it says, it should be right there. Yeah.
Okay, yep. All right, so this is First Maccabees chapter 1 and verse 9. It says, and after his death, talking about Alexander.
Yep.
Well, I started 7.
Yeah, kind of.
First Maccabees chapter 1 verse 7. So Alexander reigned 12 years and then died, and his servants bare rule every one in his place.
Yeah, I mean, his 4 generals, his main 4 generals, they took over all the land that Alexander had conquered. Go ahead.
And after his death, they all put crowns upon themselves. So did their sons after them many years, and evils were multiplied in the earth.
So under the rulership of this so-called white man, Esau Edom, because Alexander, he actually, brothers haven't gone into it, his line actually goes back to Esau, man. Okay? So when these people took over, when they started ruling, put crowns on their heads, what happened? Evil was multiplied on the earth. Okay? And like the scriptures say, the Lord created all things, even the wicked, for the day of evil. And ultimately, who's going to bring that day of evil, the ultimate day of evil with the nukes? It's going to be Esau. Okay? So under the rulership of this devil, evils have multiplied on the earth. Okay? With all, the Lord gave them the capabilities that no other nation had. You know, no other nation has reached the levels of Esau. But what came with that was evils, man. You know, abominations, iniquity, wickedness. All that multiplied and increased under the rulership of the wicked, which is the self-proclaimed white man, Esau Edom. The red man, Esau, okay? Edom. Edom means red, okay? Let me get one precept real quick to go with that. This is Proverbs chapter 29. In Proverbs 29 and 16. It reads, Proverbs 29:16. When the wicked are multiplied, transgression increaseth, but the righteous shall see their fall. So what? As Esau multiplies, what happens? Transgression increases, man. And that's what you see everywhere you go, man. There's not a place on the planet you can go without seeing transgression, all right, wickedness, evil. Because what? The earth has been given into the hand of the wicked. So he's everywhere, man. He's put you got floating trash in this ocean, man. A whole island the size of Texas. There's trash just floating around. That didn't happen during the Medo-Persian Empire. That didn't happen during the Babylonian Empire. That happened under the rulership of the so-called white man. You know, because at least everybody else that ruled, they would understand how you deal with the earth. This is the only man that has completely destroyed the earth, man. But then he claims to be the people of the Lord. He'll tell you that he's the chosen people, man. Because that's another transgression that he committed, man. Taking on the people of the Lord, saying that he's the people of the Lord. Taking on the scriptures. That's why he's going to be judged according to the scriptures.
And real quick, if I may say this too, it's spiritual that Esau's numbers, his birth rate is in the negatives. Because now what's happening is wickedness is starting to be suppressed. Because the spirit of the Heavenly Father is being pushed out here, and he's getting ready to make his grand return. So Esau's numbers, like the brother just read, you know, when they multiply, wickedness, you know, increases. So here it is. Now the numbers of Esau are starting to decline because his birth rate is in the negatives. You know, what's getting ready to be established is the kingdom of heaven, man. So the math makes sense.
Yeah, like scripture say, if they do multiply, it'd be for the sword. Yeah. But there's more of them dying than being born, like the brother said. Go ahead. That was it on that. Go ahead and go back to that. Because this is why evils. Because really, the evils really increased when America started being established. You know, going all the way back to 1492. That's when evil started multiplying on a whole nother level. Because it multiplied during the Greek Empire, and then during the Roman Empire, it went up a level. But during the rebirth of the Roman Empire, which is here in America, it exploded, man. Because they was able to do whatever they want anywhere on the earth. You know, the Roman Empire had ruled on the majority of the earth at that time, you know, the known earth. But now, you know, they rule everywhere, every corner on the planet, man. Every island, every rock, everything, man. And they even got islands straight up for pedophilia, man.
Go ahead. It's Nahum chapter 3. Start the top again, verse 1. Woe to the bloody city! It is full of lies and robbery. The prey departeth not. Verse 2. The noise of a whip, and the noise of the rattling of the wheels, and of the prancing horses, and of the jumping chariots. The horsemen lifted up both bright sword and glittering spear. And there is a multitude of slain, and a great number of carcasses.
That's right, man. That's why you know all those that are just named, the chariots and all that. That's what you see today, man. All this confusion, man. All this noise. Everywhere you go, man, there's just nothing but confusion. That wasn't in the ancient world. You know, you would be out in a certain place, you would see the stars, peace and quiet. Now, mainly everywhere you go on the earth, man, they got cars going everywhere. You got airplanes flying. You got noise from the buildings, smoke stacks polluting the earth. You know, all kind of nonsense. And then what it say? All these bodies, because how this America is literally a burial ground, man. You know how much blood, how much murder has been committed in America at the hands of the so-called white man? But they don't want to talk about that. You know, now it's about, oh, okay, well, let's be equal. Wait a minute, you weren't treating us equal when you were butchering us when we were trying to be peaceful with you. You know? You know, that's why the Lord's going to destroy America, man. One, for all the history of America, and then what America allows, man. America allows nothing but wickedness. All right. Here it is. The Bible's supposed to be the book of the land, but homosexuality and pedophilia is promoted. You turn on the TV and you see a woman twerking, and she's probably got 80 people in her life, man, that she slept with, and they promote this, man.
That's the thing to do. real quick, because the brother made mention about how, you know, the wickedness is really increasing during here in America. This is Daniel's chapter 7 and verse 20. Daniel's chapter 7 and verse 20. Well, I'll start at verse 19. Daniel's chapter 7 verse 19. It says, "Then I would know the truth of the fourth beast, which was diverse from all the others, exceeding dreadful, whose teeth were of iron."
That's talking about the ancient Roman Empire, which is what? It was wounded and it came back as what? As the EU NATO, which America is part of NATO, and America would be Rome, okay? Because remember, Rome was a city, but their power spread throughout everywhere. You know, Rome was the capital, of course, like the capital city, so to say. Just like Washington D.C. is the capital of America. America is the capital of the beast brought back again, you know. But it's still, that don't mean that just Rome, America's just Rome. No, the central of Rome is America, just like the city Rome was the central back then. And they had everybody in tributaries, you know, in subjection. So that's how Rome became great, because of their military power. You know, that's why it said their teeth was of iron. What is America known for? Their military. That's why nobody comes to America and just start dropping bombs and invading the shores. Go ahead.
And his nails of brass, which devoured, break in pieces, and stamped the residue with his feet. And that's, like the brother said, that's what Rome did with its military, and that's what America has done with its military. And this is the point, verse 20. "And of the 10 horns that were in his head, and of the other which came up, and before him 3 fell," which those 3 was the Spanish, the British, and the French.
Which that's why you had the Spanish War, the American Spanish War. You had the French
Revolution.
American War, and then you had the American Revolution, which was against that last horn, which was Britain.
"Even of that horn that had eyes, and a mouth that spake very great things," just talking about America,
Yep.
"whose look was more stout than his fellows." Okay, so it was more proud. Okay, and even when you look at America, like the brother was saying, America has been completely different than all the other kingdoms that ruled. Even even when you look at the NATO and EU, which is the 10 horns, America is completely different than all of them, man. And the wickedness that they do, and even just the way they police the whole nation is completely different than what these other nations do. You know, so that's what that's going into. So just backing up what the brother was going into. But go ahead.
Going back to Nahum, chapter 3, verse 3, "The horseman lifted up both the bright sword and the glittering spear, and there is a multitude of slain."
Yep, and that's going into the guns, man. All right, that's going into the glittering sword, and the spear is going into these weapons. All right, and there's a multitude slain, because that's ultimately what's going to be happening. All right, but right now, what you even today, you still have people getting gunned down, especially Jake getting gunned down at the hands of Esau. Okay, and it's gonna continue to get worse. Here very soon, you're gonna have martial law troops out here telling your punk ass to either stay your ass indoors, or you're gonna get shot on sight. And if you get caught outside, you're gonna get shot. No questions asked. Okay, go ahead.
God. "And there is none end of their corpses."
And there is none end of the corpses, because ultimately, at the end of the day, the scripture said that there's gonna be bodies out here like the dung on the streets, man. It's just gonna be like it's gonna be just dead bodies everywhere, man. It's gonna be a stench in the cities, especially in the cities, man. Okay, go ahead.
"They stumble upon their corpses."
Yep, that's how many dead bodies there's gonna be out here, man. Go ahead.
Yep, so this is pretty much what you call recompense, because we're going into the origins of so-called America, you know, just how this place is going to fall by the same acts the devil's been doing to us first and foremost, and people around the world. You know, it's going to happen to him. You know, there's a precept real quick I can grab. Genesis chapter 9, Genesis 9 and 6. Genesis 9 and 6. "Whoso sheddeth man's blood, by man shall his blood be shed. For in the image of the Most High made he man." So what is going to happen to this so-called white man is what he has done to the people on the planet Earth is going to happen to him. You know, so going into the slaying, you know, once the slaying of the Lord shall be many. You know, that's why the day of his vengeance, he's going to pretty much recompense. He says, "I'm going to recompense. You know, Lord, I come quickly. You know, my reward is with me to give every man according to his ways and according to his deeds." This man, this devil, all his deeds, his track history. The history proves alone that he's the devil himself. You know, but he continues on, you know, in this covering cast. So that's why he's being exposed, and he's scrambling like he was going to earlier. And that's why ultimately Revelation 12 and 12 is going to come down with that sword, have great wrath, because he's finished. He's up.
Got a quick preset with that. This is the book of Ezekiel, chapter 35 and verse 5. The book of Ezekiel, chapter 5 and verse 5, or Salakia. Ezekiel chapter 35, verse 5. It says, because thou hast had a perpetual hatred and hast shed the blood of the children of Israel by the force of the sword in the time of their calamity. Because what? The Lord, ultimately, the reason why we went into slavery, the reason why a lot of things happened to the Israelites was because we went off. But what did the Edomites do? They went and they took it overboard. You know, they were only supposed to go so far, and it was the spirit that the Lord put on them, but they took it another step further. They started doing atrocities to us and shedding more of the blood. They liked it. You know, that's why to this day they'll still drink the blood of Jake, man. They'll have those sacrifices. And a couple years ago they had that one witch, I forget her name. She's a witch or whatever, and Jay-Z was there with somebody else, and they were drinking blood, man. They were forcing them to drink blood. You know. You saw that? Yeah, kind of. It says, in the time of their calamity, in the time that their iniquity had an end, right? Verse 6, therefore, as I live, saith the Lord power, verse 6, I will prepare thee unto blood, and blood shall pursue thee. Since thou hast not hated blood, even blood shall pursue thee, man. You know? And these motherfucking devils, man, they've been made drunk off this blood, man. Off the blood of the Israelites. They couldn't get enough. To this very day, they still can't get enough. Here it is. You got your neck on Jake with your hands in your pockets like you just cooling. With your knee on his neck and he's over here dying on the floor. Like you ain't got no problem. Like this is your everyday business. You know, these devils, man, these devils don't give a damn about you Jakes, man. You Jakes out here marching like they give a fuck. These devils gonna looking at y'all like a bunch of damn idiots. Look at these dumbasses marching down there. Over there laughing at y'all, man. Y'all ain't gonna do a damn thing, man. Y'all ain't making no changes. All right, if something, what's gonna change is mass death. That's what's gonna change, man. All right, the scripture says when they shall say peace and safety, then come in sudden destruction. Go ahead, on.
Got some going into the slain. It's the book of Isaiah 14, verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned.
Start it over again.
Isaiah chapter 14, verse 20. Thou shalt not be joined with them in burial, because thou hast destroyed thy land and slain thy people. The seed of evildoers shall never be renowned. Prepare slaughter for his children, for the iniquity of their fathers.
Yeah, right. So you get a lot of these Edomites, the so-called white man, who says, well, that wasn't me. We didn't put you into slavery. That was a long time ago. Well, guess what? Your forefathers put up a bar tab that your ass got to pay for. Read that again, Bubba Kishar, that last part.
Prepare.
You damn devils, y'all think y'all gonna escape what your forefathers did, but the Heavenly Father's getting ready to come back to judge y'all, man, for what your forefathers did, man. Hey, the scripture says that they shall complain of an ungodly father, man. Roughly paraphrasing. Y'all gonna complain and sit there and that ain't gonna happen, man. I'm not reaping the benefits. Well, too bad. You should be. Take that up with your fathers, man.
These devils so proud they want to pound them back, but so to say marching with you.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, that's their way of recompensing you. Wait a minute, you was one of the ones in the crowd while niggas was hanging in the trees, man, smiling and rooting them on. Hang them high. You know?
Your parents were little kids getting sent over there, man. So don't act brand new.
And our people are so simple. They say that's progress. You know, they say we're against them, we're not, man. You know, they're okay with just walking side by side with him. You know, but it ultimately there's no adversity.
Well, that's the thing. Esau has beat our people down so low that our people is okay with just being equal. But you greater than them, man. If you want to be like, that's like LeBron James trying to be equal to just some loser Edomite. in basketball, it's I'm be okay as long as I can score 3 points just like he did. No, man, Jake gonna be out there dunking on Esau because we're greater. Like the Lord said we were. You know, He made us above all these other nations, man. But the simplicity of our people, they're okay with just being equal. But you're never gonna be equal with the devil. Okay?
And that's where the importance of Jeremiah 17:4 comes in, because we lost our identity. You know, when we think we come from slavery, the devil teaches us we just come from slaves. You know,
That's as far back as they'll
teach us that we are world people. You know, go back to the scriptures.
I got a quick precept.
Just like real quick, that's why they whitewashed everything. I did the iconoclasm. They got rid of all that history, and then they teach you what they want to teach you. You know. Go ahead.
This is 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 56. 2nd Ezra, chapter 6 and verse 56. Really, I can start at verse 54. 2nd Ezra 6 and 54. It says, and after these, Adam also, whom thou madest Lord of all thy creatures, of him come we all.
So that people like to say, mainly pseudo Christians, right? They like to say, well, we all come to Adam. You know, we're all the same people. We should be all equal. But wait a minute, why weren't you saying that when when you was whipping our backs and cutting our hands off and reading the Bible? Why didn't you say that we were equal then? We all came from Adam then. But now since you see the spirit hopping back on the Israelites, and you see us becoming closer to our power and becoming great again, okay? Now you want to talk about we all the same people, we all come from Adam, we all equal. No, that's not what the Bible says. Go ahead.
Of him come we all, and the people also whom thou hast chosen.
Yeah, the Lord has chosen a people, man. Yeah, the Lord created everything, but just like He created the wicked for the day of evil, He created His chosen, his the apple of His eye. You know, to what? To reign supreme over everybody, man. It's no coincidence that we are the best at everything, man. Even wickedness, our people has surpassed the wicked in wickedness. That's how good we are at everything, man. That we took the only thing that Esau's good at, which is being wicked, our people has surpassed him in that, man.
Yeah. Go ahead. Verse 55. All this have I spoken before thee, O Lord, because thou madest the world for our sakes.
See, for our, that's a personal pronoun. Our. They don't. When I say, hey, you know, that's our new house right there. That don't mean everybody's living in. Everybody can just come in there. That's because it's everybody's house. No, that means it's our house. Whoever our pertains to. You know.
Verse 56.
That's why I said that you know, us, our, you know, we. That don't pertain to everybody. That don't mean, because it would have said He made the earth for everybody's sake if that was the case.
Yeah.
Or all our sakes. But no, and even if it said all our sakes, well, who's it being written to though? You know.
Yeah.
Okay.
Verse 56. As for the other people which also come of Adam, thou hast said they are nothing.
They are nothing, man. Go ahead, read the next one.
But be like unto spittle,
To get the one in Isaiah.
and has likened the abundance of them unto a drop that falleth from a vessel.
That's what the Lord looked.
It's
The
40
Lord
and
looks at these
15.
other nations as nothing, man.
40.
They're disposable.
Oh.
You know, these other nations are disposable to the Lord. You know, they're just like toilet paper. What do you do with do you reuse toilet paper? You wipe your ass and then, you know, save it on the side for next time you take your shit? No, you throw it down the toilet and flush it. You know, that's what the Lord looks at these other nations as, man. Disposable. You know?
You got that for
Oh, the one in Isaiah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Less than nothing.
Yeah.
Yeah, go ahead.
Well, you're talking about the nations at the drop of a bucket. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 40, verse 15. Behold, the nations are as a drop of a bucket, and are counted as the small dust of the balance.
Small dust on the a speck of dust on the balance is not gonna move the balance, man. You know, it's not gonna tip it one way or the other. Go ahead. That's how insignificant the other nations are. That they don't affect anything. You know, they don't change anything. They don't throw the balance off the scale. They're just there. But the Lord looks at them as useless, so to say. It's like you throw a speck of dust on a weight, it's not gonna do anything. You know. All right.
Behold, he taketh out the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn.
The isles are the other nations. Read that again about.
Yeah. Okay.
Back at behold, he taketh out the isles as a very little thing, and Lebanon is not sufficient to burn, nor the beasts thereof sufficient for a burnt offering. All nations before him are as nothing, and they are counted to him less than
So
nothing.
you got nothing, which is nothing. And then the Lord looks at him as less than nothing. It's like, damn. Like somebody tells you ain't shit. You less than you ain't. You know what I mean? Like, damn. The Lord don't care about these nations. That's, you know, he's using these examples to tell you that the Lord, he only cares about our people. He don't care about the other nations. That's why he didn't give them the law, statutes, and commandments. But in the kingdom, they're gonna have to learn them, of course. But the Lord, He's not dealing with them, you know, as far as, you know, how he deals with us. Because he deals with them in a certain way, as, you know, so that's why they've been able to rule over us. But what, he threw them down, you know? Because what, he don't care about them at the end of the day. All of this was a story just to lead us up to our kingdom, man. And Yahushua's return. You had something?
Second Ezra chapter 5 verse 23, and said, O Lord, that beareth rule of every wood of the earth and of all trees thereof, thou hast chosen thee only one vine.
So this is going to show you that the Lord has favorites in everything. He has a chosen bird, chosen tree, or a favorite, so to say. You know, just like you got a favorite food, you got a favorite this. Well, guess what? The Lord has a favorite. He has a favorite people first and foremost. So keep reading on that, because he's going to give you the rundown of all his favorites. You know.
Verse 24, and of all the lands of the whole world thou hast chosen thee one pit.
Even the actual land, the Lord has a favorite part of the land. All right, which is our land, our inheritance. All right. And America ain't, God ain't gonna bless America. He gonna destroy America, all right? If you didn't know, thus saith the Lord. It's in the Bible, and it's happening right before your eyes. That's why you see America falling right before your eyes. All these uproars, these riots, all right? COVID-19. This is the end of your kingdom, all right? America's gonna be destroyed real soon, and you're gonna go down with it. Go ahead, keep reading.
And of all the flowers thereof, one lily.
Real quick, because the brother said about the land, the brother read about one favorite land. That land is over there in the land of Israel, and they call that the Fertile Crescent.
Exactly.
That word fertile, this is the definition. It says producing or capable of producing abundant vegetation or crops. So there's a reason why the Heavenly Father chose that specific land over there, and that's because that place is very abundant. Right now it looks like a desert because look who's in there.
Yeah.
It's fucking these devils in there. They're all over there messing up the whole ecosystem in the land. And committing all types of abominations and wickedness.
And that's where that garden was set up in Eden, all right? Because Eden's the whole earth, paradise. Eden means like Dan in Hebrew, meaning paradise. But in Genesis, it tells you that there was a garden eastward. You know, that's talking about like the brother said, that Fertile Crescent, because that's where the best stuff was. You know, and that's going to go back to that state. You know, but right now under the hand of the rulership of the devil, you know, it's in the situation it's at right now. You know, they got to import trees. Like you can't even grow trees there right now, man. But this is the garden that the Lord in Eden put in Eden. Go ahead.
I got it. So, real quick. Galatians chapter 4, verse 26. Galatians 4:26. But Jerusalem, which is above, is free, which is the mother of us all. So going into that garden, you know, because we read earlier about the Lord separated the sons of Adam. You know, it began in Jerusalem, in the Holy Land.
And it goes to show you that you know, Africa ain't the motherland. I mean, don't get it wrong. Africa's a very resourceful place, full of all these kind of minerals and resources, but it ain't the motherland. All right, the motherland right now is a damn desert. All right. I'll keep going on there.
Verse 25, and it says, as of all the depths of the sea, thou hast filled thee one river.
Yeah.
And
Which
of
is what? The River Jordan, kind of, exactly. Yep.
And all the builded cities thou hast hallowed Zion unto thyself.
Yeah, because what? That's speaking of the people, you know? Because Zion is what? The monument. And we are that monument. Because right now, it obviously it's not the land. Because right now that land is polluted, man. Go ahead.
Verse 26, and all the fowls that are created, thou hast named thee one dove.
Yep. So the Lord got a favorite bird, which is the dove. That's why He chose that for sacrifices as well. You know, going to show you the Lord is a favoritist. All right, He has favorites in everything. Go ahead.
And of all the cattle thou art made, thou hast provided thee one sheep.
Yep.
And among all the multitude of people,
and hey, that's real quick. That's why the Lord considers Israel lost sheep, because that's His favorite cattle. Well, He compared his favorite people unto his favorite cattle. You know. Go ahead.
And among all the multitude of the people, thou hast gotten thee one people. And unto this people whom thou lovest, thou gavest a law that is approved of all.
There you go. And who was the law given to? The Israelites. Okay. So the Lord don't look. If your favorite animal or if your favorite food is pizza, okay, and they got a spread of food, and you're looking at all the food, what you gonna go for? You're gonna go for the pizza. You're not gonna care about the other food because you want to indulge in that pizza. And that's what the Lord looks at these nations as, man. He ain't even worrying about them. You know, they're there for a purpose, but the Lord's chosen. That's who He deals with, man. That's why He gave us the laws. He gave Moses the laws to give unto His people. The Lord, the Messiah, the people who people even call Jesus, He came for His people, to redeem His people, which is so-called Negroes, Latinos, and Native Americans, right? The ones that are in the lowest estate ever, okay?
And that shows how faithful our Lord is unto us. But Jeremiah 3rd chapter, we have played the harlot with many lovers, but He says what? Return unto me. The Lord always dealt with us, no matter how harsh He put His punishment on us. At the end of the day, He don't choose us, yet choose Israel.
Got a quick precept. This is Matthew chapter 1 and verse 20. Matthew chapter 1 and verse 20. It says, but while he thought on these things, behold, the angel of the Lord appeared unto him in a dream, saying, Joseph, thy son of David, fear not to take unto thee Mary thy wife, for that which is conceived in her is of the Holy Spirit. And she shall bring forth a son, and thou shalt call his name Yahushai, for he shall save his people from their sins.
Yeah, so the Lord was sent to save His people.
They didn't say all people.
Yeah. It is His people. Who are His people? Like when Jake like to talk like, yeah, that's my people's right there. He's not talking about everybody. He's talking about His people, man. His family. All right, people of His nation. That's what the Lord came back for. All right, even after the mouth of the Messiah, He said, I am not sent, but unto the lost sheep of the house of Israel. He never changed. He wasn't, He's not a double-minded man. So the Lord was sent for Israel, all right, and that's what He's coming back for ultimately, all right, in these last days. That's what He sent His disciples out to. Okay.
This is Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for He hath visited and redeemed His people, and hath raised up an horn of salvation for us, which is Yahushua, in the house of His servant David, as He spake by the mouth of His holy prophets, which had been since the world began.
I should say Israel somewhere in there. Maybe farther down, maybe. Say something about Israel. Oh yeah, 77. Come on,
Why don't you say this week?
Did you say Israel? Salvation? Oh, okay.
Verse 68 too.
68, that might
68.
be it. Yeah, 68. 68.
Oh, 68.
Yep, that's it.
This is Luke chapter 1, verse 68. Blessed be the Lord power of Israel, for He hath visited and redeemed His people.
That's what I read.
Okay. Yeah. But it's all good, Again, so, and where's His people at today? In this bloody city, man. All right? We've been brought here in captivity, just like in the ancient Roman Empire. We were in captivity under the Romans, which is Esau. And today we're still under Esau in the new Rome, the rebirth, all right, the revised Roman Empire, so to say. All right, so go back to that Nahum.
It's Nahum chapter 3, Nahum 3 and 4. Nahum chapter 3 verse 4, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
Yeah, so who that well-favored harlot, man? Revelation 17. Let me grab that real quick, just to show the precept on that. This is Revelation chapter 17, and 17 and verse 5. Oh, I started at the top. Revelation 17 and 1. And there came one of the 7 angels which had the 7 vials, and talked with me, saying unto me, Come hither, I will show unto thee the judgment of the great whore that sitteth upon many waters. So read that again.
God. Nahum chapter 3, verse 4, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot.
Yeah, so that a harlot is what? A whore. The multitude of whoredoms, right? Back in Revelation 17 and 2, with whom the kings of the earth have committed fornication, and the inhabitants of the earth have been made drunk with the wine of her fornication. So he carried me away in the spirit into the wilderness, and I saw a woman sit upon a scarlet-colored beast, which the woman is symbolic for America, that whore, and the beast is the EU and NATO, full of names of blasphemy, having 7 heads and 10 horns. And the woman was arrayed in purple and scarlet color, and decked with gold and precious stones and pearls, having a golden cup in her hand full of abominations and filthiness of fornications. Going to show you that America's looked as that place of royalty. That's why everybody want to come to America to make it. All right, that's why it's symbolic, the purple and the scarlet color decked out with gold, because that's something somebody royal would be wearing. Which America is the height of Esau's kingdom, you know. It says, verse 5, here's the point, and upon her forehead was written, mystery, Babylon the Great, the mother of harlots and abominations of the earth. Go ahead.
Nahum chapter 3, verse 4, because of the multitude of the whoredoms of the well-favored harlot, the mistress of witchcrafts, that sell up nations through her whoredoms, and families through her witchcrafts.
That's what America was established on. All right, selling of nations. All right, the witchcraft. Everything America pushes out is contrary to what the Lord set up. The Lord said do this, America says do the opposite. Go ahead.
Nahum chapter 3, verse 5, behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord, Yahweh B'Hashem Yahshua of hosts.
So why they talking about God bless America? God, the Lord, the Bible just said that he's against thee. The Lord's against this place, man. Not only because of what is done unto his chosen people, but what it pushes out. The doctrine it pushes out, the democracy, all that is contrary to what the Lord said.
I got a quick one to go with what you said. This is Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Isaiah chapter 29, verse 16. Surely you're turning up things upside down.
Yeah, everything's upside down here in America. The woman's over the man. What else? Homosexuals given right. GMO foods. Chemtrails. Everything's ass backwards here in America. It's like, you know, that show on Netflix, what is it called? Stranger Things. You know, everything's flipped upside down in this place. This is a nightmare, man. This is an alternate reality. You got the basis of men, the lowest person you can actually be as a nation is on the top, and then the greatest people are on the bottom. Go ahead.
It says, surely you're turning up things upside down, shall be esteemed as the potter's clay. You know, because that's what the people the people look at the things and how they are today, and they think, well, this is how the Most High made us to be. Especially going into the whole homosexuality, they say, oh, well, I was born this way. That's esteemed as the potter's clay. Like, this is how things were molded. No, the Most High did not mold things to be this way, man. That's why the brother was saying, you know, America is completely contrary to the Most High.
Why would the Lord do that? That would make him injustice. You telling me that he gonna make you born as a homo, but then in his law it says you gotta put homos to death. So you mean he set you up from the day you were born? No. He gave you up to that vile affection, as Romans chapter 1 says, man. You were giving up to your vile affection, man. But what? That's promoted. You know, you got home pride parades. People clapping for him and shit. People supposed to be stoning him, not clapping for him.
Nahum chapter 3, verse 5. Behold, I am against thee, saith the Lord of hosts, and I will discover thy skirts upon thy face.
Yeah, that's happening right now, man. It's been happening. Because what? The Lord is making America bare. It's exposing America. Because what happens when a woman's skirt is upon her, like the wind blowing their skirt is upon her head, man? What happened is she's being seen for her nakedness, man. She's being exposed, and that's what America is. America's being exposed for its wickedness, for all the witchcraft, for all how it deals for our people. Here it is, America's trying to tell you how to run your country, but America got civil unrest. So that's the Lord exposing America. All right.
And I will shew the nations thy nakedness, and the kingdoms thy shame.
Yeah, all these other nations are seeing the shame of America. What's the number one shame of America? It's history, man. This is the history of America. Slavery, rape, robbery, and murder. That's how America was established. The slaughter of the indigenous people, the slavery of the so-called Negroes, all this side of the earth. That's how this side of the earth was established. Through deceit, through bloodshed, and now the whole earth is seeing it. All right, the whole earth is seeing how America is a hypocrite, man. The people that run America are nothing but hypocrites. All right, the so-called white man's the biggest hypocrite. You know, because he'll tell you not to do something, but then he'll do it. He'll tell you not to bomb, but then he's the only one that ever used atomic bombs. He'll tell you not to build nuclear missiles, but he's over here stockpiling nuclear missiles, man. He'll tell you not to kill, but he's the #1 murderer on the planet.
Go ahead. This is 2 Thessalonians chapter 2 and verse 3. Let no man deceive you by any means, for that day shall not come except there come a falling away first.
That's what happened to our people. We fell away. We lost our heritage. Now you call African American, Puerto Rican, Mexican, Native American. How can you be a Native American? This place was named after a white man, Amerigo Vespucci. So how can you be a Native American? What was it called before America? Definitely not America. So how can you be a Native American? You lost it. You were stripped of your nationality, man. You were told, look, you're black, you're Hispanic, you're Latino, you're Mexican, you're Colombian. Who named those places that? The same person that oppressed you. The same people that slapped chains on you. Go ahead.
It says, and that man of sin be revealed,
Yeah, that man
the
of sin,
son of perdition.
The man of sin be revealed was the so-called white man. The son of perdition, meaning destruction. Everywhere the so-called white man has gone on the planet, he's brought nothing but chaos and destruction. That's a fact. That's not you don't need to debate that. That's a fact. Google it. Who's dropped weapons of mass destruction? It wasn't the Chinese, man. It wasn't the Latinos. It wasn't the black people. It wasn't exactly. It wasn't Iran. Here it is that America always talks about terrorism, but America's the biggest terrorist on the planet. Dare me to prove it. Look at the history of America. Of the 200 and something years that America's been established, the majority of them years have been in war. And America is at war right now with itself. That's why you got these protests all around America. And what? It's spreading like cancer, man. There's the people that had nothing to do with America are protesting, man. Out there in Sweden, you know, New Zealand, Australia. Because what? The Lord is stirring up the spirits on these people, because what? He's going to return soon. And he's coming to bring a great slaughter. Mainly here in America. Go ahead.
Real quick, to back you up on us being called African American, Mexicans, and Negroes, and Spics, and wetbacks, that was prophesied that would be said about us. Go ahead.
So Deuteronomy chapter 28. Deuteronomy 28 and verse 37. And thou shalt become an astonishment, a proverb, and a byword among all nations, whither the Lord shall lead thee.
So it's not just the so-called white man. It's all these other nations, man. They all had a part in our downfall. But what? They all call us by bywords. Which are these? All right, Negroes, West Indian, Jamaicans, Haitians, Dominicans. That's a byword. That's not a nationality. That's just a word that was put on you when you was in slavery. But our people are proud of it. Like Puerto Ricans, they're proud to be Puerto Ricans. They got the little flag. They got the little boxing gloves with the flag on it. That's not. Wait a minute. Do you know what Puerto Rico means? It means rich port. Why did they name that island that? Because they went there and found all the resources, the gold and all this, and made the indigenous people pick it, and they try to kill you off, man. So we're a byword in the proverb, you know, and that was under the captivity that we've been serving for these last 500 years, right? And we all served it together, you know. The first people to actually go on slave ships were Latinos. When Christopher Columbus brought his pale ass over here, he took after his first voyage, he took slaves back to Spain, so-called Hispanics, all right, from the island of Hispaniola, which is today's Dominican Republic, all right, from Puerto Rico. Okay, he took those back to Spain. Okay, press together.
This is Jeremiah chapter 50 and verse 33. The book of Jeremiah chapter 50 verse 33. It says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel,"
The children of Israel, go ahead.
which is the northern kingdom, which is the northern kingdom consists of the Latino tribes and the so-called Native American tribes, and the children of Judah,
So the so-called Negroid tribes, the African Americans, as they call them, Haitians, and you know the Jamaicans, Trinidad, the so-called dark-skinned tribes. You know,
it says, "Thus saith the Lord of hosts, the children of Israel and the children of Judah were oppressed together, and all that took them captives held them fast. They refused to let them go."
to this day, the ones that took us captive have refused to let us go. We're still here in slavery. Just because you ain't got chains around your feet don't mean you're free. Try to leave the country. If you're so free, leave the country without permission.
Okay, quick reset. This is Exodus chapter 21 and verse 16, because we're still in the hands of our captors. Exodus chapter 21 verse 16. "And he that stealeth a man and selleth him, or if he be found in his hand, he shall surely be put to death." And we're still in the hands of the so-called white man. We were brought over here through slavery, you know, whether it was from Spain, whether it was from the west coast of Africa or from the islands, we were still brought over here. Even during the Assyrian captivity, the so-called northern tribe, okay, they fled over there because they were in captivity under the Assyrians, and they came over here to the Americas. That's how the Latino and the Native American tribes made their way over here. Okay, but what we're still to this very day, 2020, we're still in the hands of the so-called white man. Like the brother said earlier, try to leave America, try to catch a plane to go to London, or try to catch a plane to go to Nigeria. You ain't gonna be able to go if you don't got a passport from daddy, from Esau's punk ass. You ain't leaving unless you have his permission, his stamp of approval, which is what they do. They stamp it. Okay, he just got here, or he's about to leave the country. You know.
And the reason why they don't want to let us go is because they make too much money. You know, just like in ancient Egypt, you know, they want to let our people go because we're building up their cities. You know, we're occupying their land and making wealth. Exploitation.
I got a quick precept on that. This is the book of Sirach.
It's like it real quick. On that verse that the brother read about us being put in captivity together, look at this picture right here. This is proof that we was all considered the same. Let me turn up the light.
Yeah.
I'll show you, brothers. It's a sign that says no niggers, Mexican, Puerto Rican, or dogs allowed. You know, tell me that's because the so-called white man considers us all the same, because he knows we're the same people. The only people that don't know that who we are is our people. All right, they think they're blacks, Hispanics, but why would the so-called white man lump us all together like that? Because he knows, and because he put us all in captivity together. Go ahead, though. Just wanted to show that.
This is Sirach chapter 13 and verse 4. This is Sirach chapter 13 and verse 4. It says, "If thou be for his profit, he will use thee." That's what the so-called white man does, right? He uses us for our profit. He has the NBA, the NFL, the MLB. You know, he has the rap industry. He has all these different industries. Like the brother said, the brother said he ain't gonna let us go because we make him a profit. It says, "If thou be for his profit, he will use thee. But if thou have nothing, he will forsake thee." So if you're of no good to this damn devil, he don't want nothing to do with you. He ain't gonna. He wants you out of here. What do you think he be saying about the Mexicans?
Yeah.
We got to send, even though they're useful, which is why he doesn't just kick them all out.
Yeah.
You know. But what?
You've already done your job. You've already built up their kingdom. But who built all this up? Our people. Who are the number one people on the construction sites? So-called Negroes and Latinos, man. Who the ones doing the manual labor, the hard jobs? It's our people, man. You can't have a bunch of crackers out there in the sun all day. They gonna quit halfway through the job, man.
Get boils on them.
Yeah, man. They gonna burn up like lobsters, man.
Go ahead and get that quick precept because it goes along with this precept. Because now the reason why the so-called white man Esau Edom he's doing the Israelites like he's doing is because he's already got what he needed. He's already achieved his goal by making his money off of y'all. Now he just want to kill y'all off and put you back into slavery.
That's why he's willing to depopulate the earth to 500 million.
Jeremiah, going back to Jeremiah 50, quick one. Jeremiah 50 and 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O destroyers of mine heritage.
Destroyers of mine heritage. That's what Esau Edom did. He destroyed our people so much that we forgot who we were. Matter of fact, he was the reason why we forgot, because he forced us to forget.
They beat it out of us.
Yeah, he beat it out of us.
You can't read the Bible. You know, he caught you reading, he'd kill you. You know,
Publicly, he killed you.
as he's whipping you, he's calling you coon to like Toby. Your name is Toby. He beat it out of us, man.
Jeremiah 50 and 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O ye destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown.
To prove who the destroyer of his heritage is, Esau's the only nation that did that to us. The other nations allowed us to keep our heritage, allowed us to continue to do the sacrifices, do this and that, even allow us to rebuild the temple. Esau Edom is the only one that stripped us of everything. It took everything from us, man. And the main thing, the worst thing you can be stripped of is who you are. If you don't know who you are, you'll go with the flow with everything, man.
Jeremiah 50 and 11, because ye were glad, because ye rejoiced, O destroyers of mine heritage, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass.
Yeah, see, Esau Edom's grown fat off the backs of the so-called Negro, Latino, and Native American man. They've been made fat. That's why they ain't got no use for you no more. They sitting there with their pot belly sticking out, rubbing their belly like, damn.
Shit, who wouldn't? After 400 years of free labor, any business, if you don't pay your employees for 400 years, you're gonna be in jail. You know, you're gonna be rich as hell. You know, that's why they call that old money. Jake ain't got old money. We can't pass down the big, the plantation houses.
Generational wealth.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Generational wealth. Jake don't have that. We're just now. It's like a race. And they had a big ass head start, and then they started in front of us anyway. You know.
Finish it up, Jeremiah 50 and 11, because ye are grown fat as the heifer at grass, and bellow as bulls.
Yeah. See, so that's the point. You know, they've become fat. They destroyed our heritage, and they put us in a position to where we built their nation up, we built their kingdom up, and they've been made fat, man. So now that they have no need of us, now they want to forsake us. Now they're like, oh, these niggas are just terrible.
If
these
you
are
don't
the
like
worst kind of
America,
people.
leave.
Yeah.
What you mean? Why would we like America? We were the one that created it, and we don't get the benefit from it.
Where would be American history without so-called Negro, Latino, and Native Americans? You know, we make this much. The good and the bad. I got some.
That's how who likes, I mean, some niggas do because they're bugged out, but who likes to be in jail? You know, hey, if you don't like jail, just leave. I'm in prison, I can't just leave. What you mean?
Yeah.
I got some. So, James chapter 5, James 5 and 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Weep and howl for the miseries that are going to come upon you, man. Rich man. Okay, that's why the scriptures they refer to the rich man a lot, man, because that's talking about Esau Edom.
Like
Lazarus isn't in the rich man. Okay, what did matter of fact, we'll get that. Yeah, we'll get that. Read that again, and then we'll get that Lazarus.
So James chapter 5 verse 1. Go to now, ye rich men, weep and howl for your miseries that shall come upon you.
Yeah, because what's going to happen? What's going to happen to the so-called white man? Revelation 13 and 13 or 10. It's 9 and 10. Okay, he shall go. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity, man. He that killeth with the sword shall be killed by the sword, man. So you see, and then many other things other than that. The scripture says, reward unto them double as they have rewarded thee. Okay, or as they have done unto thee.
James 5 and 2. Your riches are corrupted, and your garments are moth-eaten.
Yeah, your riches are corrupted because you got it through bloodshed, man. You got it through robbery. Okay? You took the land from the so-called Native Americans. You took the resources from the people. Okay? From you went to the islands. You took all the gold. Okay? You took the resources from them. Shit, Esau's still doing that over there in Africa. He's still going over there and taking diamonds and exploiting the people, man. Their riches are corrupt, man. They're moth eating. Go ahead.
James 5:3, your gold and silver is cankered.
There you go. The gold and silver is cankered, man. Go ahead.
And the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
Guess what? Pursuant to Sirach chapter 12, that rust is a sign of his wickedness. Okay? To read that again about the rust.
James 5:3, your gold and silver is cankered, and the rust of them shall be a witness against you.
Yeah, it's a witness. That rust is a witness against him, man. Like, look, this is his doing, man. He got this through some bullshit, man. Okay? And even if he got it through some contract, he still broke the contract. Okay? Go ahead.
And shall eat,
Which is what he did with the Native Americans. He said, well, look, we're gonna put you over here in this land because we want to take we want to take this land, but we're gonna give you guys this nice land. But then he went and put the Native Americans over there in the reservations, and what? The Native Americans were going through hell over there in those reservations, man. Living in straight poverty, no resources in the land, just straight. It was literally a living hell, man, for the Native Americans. And then Esau even went into the reservations and still further persecuted the Native Americans, man.
And that reservations is the shittiest land.
Yeah.
Ain't no fucking resources there. The dirty water, you know.
and shall eat your flesh as it were fire. Ye have heaped treasures together for the last days.
Yep.
Verse 4.
It's because what Esau, the Lord ain't gonna allow Esau to build up again, man, store up all the resources anymore, man. He's already taken the earth in his own position, you know. So this is it for the last days. You know, he's not gonna come back and have any possessions, you know. Go ahead.
James 5:4, behold, the hire of the laborers who have reaped down your fields, which is of you kept back by fraud, crieth. Talking about us. And the cries of them which have reaped are entered into the ears of the Lord of Sabaoth.
Meaning the Lord of hosts or troops. Go ahead.
Verse 5, last one. Ye have lived in pleasure on the earth and been wanton. Ye have nourished your hearts as in the day of slaughter.
Yeah, one time, man, you just going around wandering, man, around the whole earth.
James,
Like a vagabond, man, like Cain was. I mean, it was pretty much just means traveler, and that's what Esau did. He gone around the whole earth, reaped, you know, all the resources, stole, better said, you know. And now this is how he's in the position he's at right now. Good.
James 5 and 6, ye have condemned and killed the just.
The Israelites, the prophets, really.
And he doeth not resist you.
And we didn't resist this devil, man. Because what? We agreed with our adversary.
The Native Americans, when they came, they were peaceful.
Shit,
Even the
islands.
slaves, yeah, the slaves, the islands, yeah, they didn't resist. And to this day, our people, you know, well, they're starting out. They want to be equal, but they're not really resisting. But these last couple of years, man, yeah. We're not talking about resisting the rest.
And even then, when Jake's in resisting, Esau still say he resisting and club the shit out of you.
They got your hands tied behind your back, and they got your knee on your neck, and he's telling you to stop resisting, man.
Going into the proverb or the what's it called, what's the parable? The parable of the rich man and Lazarus. This is Luke chapter 16 and verse 19. Luke chapter 16 and verse 19 says, there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen, and that purple was, when back in the ancient days, that was a color of royalty because it was an expensive color to dye.
You can't just find purple somewhere, you know, like you can't cut it off an animal. You know what I'm saying, like sheep, you know, you get black, brown, white, but purple you have to actually make. You know, somebody got to either press the grapes, or they do just another something to make that color. Which, you know, like you got Roy G. Biv, the spectrum of the rainbow. You have to mix colors to make purple. You know what I'm saying? Well, unless you use grapes, but then, you know, again, it's an expensive color to make. You know, so you would usually see royalty. You know, somebody of high authority you know, somebody a high stature that would have purple on. Now it's looked at as somebody will clown you. Jake could clown you if you wear purple.
So they wear it in the church.
Yeah,
The Catholic Church, they wear that purple because it represents a high status, so to say. You know.
So it says there was a certain rich man which was clothed in purple and fine linen and fared sumptuously every day.
Yeah, fine linen. Linen ain't a cheap. It ain't cotton, you know, polyester.
It ain't no expensive cotton.
It's expensive material. What do you say?
I said it ain't Egyptian cotton. 100,000 count Egyptian cotton. Oh man, look at this shit smooth. Nah, man. Talking about linen.
Yeah.
A linen. Go buy an all linen suit. See how much that gonna cost you. And that ain't even fine linen. That's just regular linen. You know.
And it said, and fared sumptuously every day. And Esau, even to this day, he's still faring sumptuously every day.
Pretty much the modern day term would be living good every day.
Yep. Verse 20, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate full of sores. And who's Lazarus? That's the Israelites. It said full of sores. Because what? We have to work a 9 to 5 and still we're in debt. We're born in debt.
Yep. Swords are symbolic for the hell that we're in. The shit we gotta go through every day. Now, while the rich man is just faring, he living life, he do whatever he wants every day. Jake full of swords because what? You full of troubles, man. You gotta pay bills, you gotta do this, you gotta jump through the hula hoop, you know. We're subject to payments, you know.
Bag full, to put money in a bag full of holes. You know. Or women are hell. You know, Jake can't ride down the street in a good-looking car without getting pulled over because you think you might have stole it, or you selling drugs. You know, go ahead. You have to something.
Yeah. It's Haggai chapter 1. Haggai 1. I read 5 and 6. Haggai chapter 1 verse 5. Now therefore, thus saith the Lord of hosts, consider your ways. Ye have sown much and bring in little.
That's our people, man. We sow much, bring in little. We do all the work in America. But what you get at the end of the day? $9 an hour? 10, 15 if you're lucky? 20? That's still a slap to the face. You can make $30 an hour. How much are you making? If they're willing to pay you $30 an hour, how much are you making them?
A lot.
Like NFL players, they're, you know, big ballers who are making millions. How much are they making the team owner or the slave owner, you know? If they're paying you millions, they're making billions off of you. 1 billion ain't nothing compared to 1 million is nothing compared to 1 billion. You know, you still down 999 billion to go, a million, you know, that's nothing to them.
Haggai 1 and 6. Ye have sown much and bring in little. Ye eat, but ye have not enough. Ye drink, but ye are not filled with drink. Ye clothe you, but there is none warm. And he that earneth wages to be put into a bag with holes.
Because as soon as you get, before you even get your paycheck, they've already taken money out. They should take this much money, this percentage out, and then they supposedly give that money back to you when it's tax time, but then they tax that. They tax your paycheck, and then they're gonna tax your taxes. And then at the store, they're gonna tax you on top of that. So you working for your money just coming in and out, man.
So back to Luke chapter 16, verse 20 again. Luke 16 and 20, and there was a certain beggar named Lazarus, which was laid at his gate. Because we gotta beg. We gotta beg for the crumbs. We gotta beg for the necessities of daily living, man. That's why you see Jake in food stamp lines and welfare, Section 8. They're begging just to get by, man. Look, can you give me some more hours? You know, blah blah blah. This is a big gate. You don't see I mean, you got the curses are falling on Esau now, and there's a bunch of loser Edomites. But you don't see the elites of Esau begging. You don't see them working for pennies on the dollar.
Right. Brother got a quick reset.
This is the society that's been built up, man. To oppress us, to further oppress us, man. Because at least in slavery, during slavery, we were separate. You lived on one section of the land, all the Jakes lived on one section of the land with your own little house. You know, they grew their own little food. now you've been segregation, or not segregation, integration was the worst thing that ever happened, man.
Go back to the curses. This is Deuteronomy 28. I read 47 and 48. Deuteronomy chapter 28, verse 47. Because thou servest not the Lord thy power with joyfulness and with gladness of heart for the abundance of all things. Verse 48. Therefore shalt thou serve thy enemies, which the Lord shall send against thee in hunger, and in thirst, and in nakedness, and in want of all things.
Yeah, because we have to go to Esau, Edom. Really, we got to go to all the nations, but mainly Esau, Edom, for clothes, for food, for water, and anything else. You know, who owns these corporations? It ain't Jake. Jake don't own these corporations, man.
And if Jake owns a business, small business, guess what? He don't really own that. He still got to pay to the oppressor. That's just you've been they got to approve you, right, for the loan, the business loan, and then they approve you to open up the business. But step out of line, see if it's gonna be your business any longer. They're gonna come, and they're gonna shut you down.
Eventually you gotta pay back with interest.
Mm-hmm.
Ain't no fair.
Even if let's say you get that loan and your business don't make it, you still gotta pay that back. You still gotta pay that money back.
White corporate backing.
Finish up Deuteronomy 28:48. And he shall put a yoke of iron upon thy neck until he have destroyed thee.
And what's that modern day yoke of iron? Is that debt, man? Yep. That's what that modern day yoke is, because you're in debt. You're forced to go to him to do anything. And if you do anything, you got to first deal with him because you owe him. Oh, you want to start your own business? What about this $48,000 you still owe? You know, well, I can't give you a loan because you still owe too much on this. Oh, you want a house? Well, you got to come to me. You got to go in debt. And then if you fuck up and you ain't paid, I'm gonna take that shit from you.
Yeah, you can, because unless you got, because even if you have the cash, say your house is $200,000, you buy it straight up cash. You still got to pay taxes. You still got to pay this and pay that, and stop paying the taxes. They're gonna take your house, even if you paid it full cash. You know.
I was trying to find out even at the end of the Lord over subject unto the borrower. Yeah, get that. Subject unto the borrower.
Yeah. See, because this debt is a web. The scriptures talk about that, you know, falling into this web. That, what do you think on the back of the dollar bill? You see a web. It's all these different lines and shit. That's a web, man. Because it's a trap. You fall into it, you're gonna get stuck in it, man. You know, that's why these celebrities, when they end up they don't do so. They run out of shit to do. You know, as far as music making, they're doomed because they're in debt with this damn devil, and they got all these big ass mansions, these expensive ass cars that they didn't buy in cash. They only put down money on it because they thought they was gonna save themselves money. Now you doomed. Now you're gonna lose your car, your house, the house you bought for your mama under your name. All that's getting took, man. Look at Andy Ruiz. He won that one fight against Anthony Joshua, and he bought his mother a $20 million home. And now he lost it. Then he lost his belt. Now what do you think he's trying to do with that house, man, and all those cars he bought? That Mexican's doomed.
Yeah, he's gonna lose all that.
Yeah.
This is Proverbs 22, verse 7. Proverbs 22 and 7. Proverbs 22 and 7. The rich ruleth over the poor, and the borrower is servant to the lender.
There you go, servant. So you got to do what the borrower tells you to do.
Or the lender.
Yeah, the lender, yeah.
Proverbs 22 and 7.
You got to do what he said because you're a servant to him now. That's why you got to sign a contract. You got to sign your name saying, this is me. I'm giving myself over to you.
And then now you got to jump through a hoop. You got to pay him back, however means necessary. If not, he could take you to court. You know, the IRS will come and get you. All kinds of shit, man. You go to jail. You know. So what? The borrower is servant to the lender. So that, like the brother said, that's the new yokes. Because now you become a servant for what? Borrowing. And as soon as you're born, you're already borrowing. You know. Because wait, there's a hospital bill when you're born. That's the debt right there. Bam! As soon as you come out the womb, you're already in debt. You die, that debt goes to your family.
So going back to the parable in Luke chapter 16, Luke chapter 16, verse 21, and desiring to be fed with the crumbs which fell from the rich man's table. All right, and that's what Jake does, man. Jake's just want to get by, man. We just want to make at least $40,000-$50,000 a year. Like that, damn, we can't even make that. Like shit, man. Just give me something off your table, man. You living in these castles. You making trillions of dollars, billions of dollars a year, and we over here living in poverty, damn near, man. You know, making Jake is damn near working, making damn near at the poverty line, man.
Paycheck to paycheck.
Yeah.
Living week to week.
Yep.
Hoping you can make it to the next week. You know?
It says, moreover, the dogs came and licked his sores. Now the dogs is talking about these other nations. And remember, those sores are our troubles. So what did these other nations do? They came and licked our wounds, our sores, making it worse. So here comes Moab, here comes Elam, the so-called East Indians, and they come set up shop in your neighborhoods. They put the liquor stores, they put the Chinese food stores, and then they further destroy our people. Okay? You got the Ishmaelites that set up the pawn shops, the gas stations, and sell your people blunts, making our people in a worse condition than they already in, man.
The beauty salon, the beauty shop, beauty supply.
Yeah.
That ain't our people that own that. And mainly, most of the time, it be goops.
It says, verse 22, and it came to pass that the beggar died and was carried by the angel into Abraham's bosom. The rich man also died and was buried. Now,
So that him being in the bosom meaning he comforted. Because what we have ultimately the beggar, which is Israel, we have a kingdom coming, you know, which was promised unto Abraham. Okay? Abraham, Isaac, and Jacob.
verse 23, and in hell, talking about the rich man, and in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom.
That hell's going to be in the kingdom of heaven. Exactly. He gonna see what? He gonna see the beggar is comforted. You know, they're gonna be good. Meanwhile, he's in hell. You know, because it's gonna be a turn. The Lord gonna turn things like we read earlier. To turn them things upside down. But the Lord's coming to flip things upright, man.
It says, and in hell he lift up his eyes, being in torment, and seeth Abraham afar off, and Lazarus in his bosom. And he cried and said, Father Abraham, have mercy on me, and send Lazarus, that he may tip the tip of his finger in water and cool my tongue, for I am tormented in this flame.
Yeah, now you want the one you was oppressing, giving crumbs to come help you? Come on, man.
And that goes to show you, that's a good example right there to show you how bad it's going to be for Esau on that day, man. How bad it's going to be for him in the kingdom. How much hell he's going to be getting put through. That he's just going to want us just to tip the tip of our finger in water and just to cool his tongue.
Yeah, to give him some rest, a little
drop
rest.
of water.
Yeah. He just want a little bit of rest, man. That's what that water's symbolic for, you know, to ease his pain, so to say.
Yep.
Let me get real quick what Lazarus means. Lazarus means whom God helps.
God helps.
So it pretty much is the Greek way of saying Eleazar,
Which is one of Abraham's sons.
Yep.
Or Salah, not Abraham, Aaron.
Yeah, Aaron, yeah.
One of Aaron's sons. Verse 25, it says, but Abraham said, Son, remember that in thy lifetime receivest thou good things, and likewise Lazarus evil things.
So
but
now, you were living good. You know, you was living it up, and they were in the shittiest condition that known to man.
Yeah, like Abraham was reminding him, like, yo, you remember, right?
What about this?
Your ass was on.
He was giving them a slideshow. You remember this?
Exactly. It says, but now he is comforted, and thou art tormented.
Yeah, because look, these people right here, they're being tormented. You know, hanging. But these people are what? They're comforted. Yeah, these people are comforted, having a great old time, hanging jakes, burning them up. You know, gator bait. Meanwhile, we were, catching all kinds of hell, man.
It goes on to say, verse 26, and besides all this, between us and you, there is a great gulf fixed. Right? Which means that separation, that division between us and Esau. Because what? We're going to be in the kingdom and they're going to be at the bottom, just like we're at the bottom right now and they're at the top. It's going to be completely turned around. You know? That's that great gulf fixed, because what? Gulf is like right now we're Tampa is over here in the Gulf of Mexico. What is it separating from us? It's a body of water separating Florida from Mexico. Okay, from that land over there, that Gulf represents a separation. All right. It says, verse 26, and besides all this, between us and you there is a great gulf fixed, so that they which would pass from hence to you cannot, neither can they pass to us that would come from this. So you ain't gonna come up out of the hell that you're gonna be in, just like we can't come up out of this hell. No matter how much Jake in this side works his ass off, he ain't gonna become on the level of the Rothschilds, man. And neither is Esau, man. He ain't gonna come up on the level of the Israelites and the elect in the kingdom of heaven. He ain't even gonna come on the level of an Israelite, one of the regular Israelites, you know, the 2/3 Israelite. He ain't gonna be on their level, man.
Yeah, he won't be on the level of a dog, just like he did with us. No Negroes, Mexicans, or dogs. Well, he's not even gonna be on the level of a dog. He won't even be worthy enough to be around dogs, man. Like Job said, you gotta keep him away from the animals, man. So just like they did us, we're three-fifths of a man, not even a whole person. It takes 80 to be 3 people in the eyes of the devil. So that's how he gonna be, man. He's not even gonna be considered human, which he ain't. But you know, he gonna be subhuman. That's what he gonna be. The basis of men. He's going back to that state. And all these Karens, you know, you see that's that beast nature coming back out of them, man. The basis of men.
Okay. This is verse 27. This is the rich man speaking now. It says, then he said, I pray thee therefore, Father, that thou wouldest send him to my father's house, for I have 5 brethren, that he may testify unto them, lest they also come into this place of torment. So Esau is going to want to go back in time to warn him, to warn his people. Be like, yo, you got to not do this to them, because this is what we're going to end up, it's going to end up happening onto us. Let's see what Abraham says. Abraham said unto him, they have Moses and the prophets, let them hear them. That's why we're out here right now, as a testimony unto them, unto the other nations as well.
That's why Jeremiah will send out a prophet to the nations, all the nations.
And the law, which Moses represents the law. Moses, they have the law. The law says that thou, you know, what's it called? That you shouldn't.
What we read earlier about that stealeth the man.
Yeah, him that stealeth the man.
That's the law. That's in the law. How you're supposed to deal with the earth and the people is in the law.
Yep.
But wait, you didn't listen. You didn't take heart to it. But this is supposed to be the book of the land. Yeah. You know, you swear in the highest position in office supposedly on the Bible, man. And when you go to court, they put your right hand on the book and do this and that. You know, solemnly swear to tell the truth. But so you can't complain. You had the law and the prophets.
You know, so you had every opportunity to get right, but you didn't. So verse 30, it says, and he said, nay, Father Abraham, but if one went unto him from the dead, they will repent. So now he wants somebody to get raised from the dead, so they'll be like, oh shit, this dude was dead, and now he came back and told us, because this is somebody dead, we better listen to him, you know. And he said unto him, if they hear not Moses and the prophets, neither will they be persuaded, though one rose from the dead. So no, man, if they didn't listen to the law or the prophets that I sent out, they ain't gonna listen to somebody that I rose up dead. What's the difference?
That's why Esau's fixated with that Back to the Future shit, building time machines, because he knows what's coming in the future, man. You know, at least they know what's coming in the future, and it ain't gonna be, it ain't gonna work out in their best interests.
So, Lamentations.
Front door and take a left here.
Lamentations chapter 4, verse 21. Lamentation 4 and 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Yep. And that time, you should have been. If Esau, you out there and you just now listening to this, hearing this scripture, you better go out and go all out, man. Your time's about to run out. You should have been having a good old time, man. Should have been bought a boat, bought a yacht. All right, buy a nice sports car, max your credit cards out. All right, because now your time is coming up, man. Your time, the end is coming for you, man.
Lamentation 4 to 21. Rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom.
Yeah. You're not supposed to be begging on the streets, all mad and shit, because you live in paycheck to paycheck. You know, you should have been rejoicing, man. This is your kingdom. You think our kingdom, Israelites, are gonna be begging on the streets for change? All being homeless. got your elites to blame for that.
Lamentation 4:21, rejoice and be glad, O daughter of Edom, that dwellest in the land of Uz. The cup also shall pass through unto thee.
Yeah, that cup of what? The same things we had to go through, man. The tribulation, the trials, the hell we caught. Now that cup is going to be passed on to the ones that are supposed to be rejoicing, having a good time. Now it's time for you to go down. All right, now it's time for you to catch hell, be in slavery, go into captivity. All right, come to us for the one of all things. Okay.
Thou shalt be drunken and shalt make thyself naked.
Yeah. And that's what's happening right now. They're making themselves naked. Because what? Who these whistleblowers and all these other nations that is coming up against America, they're Edomites too. The majority of them are Edomites, like European countries. Those are Edomites that run them countries, man.
Right. Lamentation chapter 4, verse 22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion.
Yeah, so our punishment is over, man. It's accomplished. The Lord did what He had to do to us. Now what we got, I wouldn't say it's fully accomplished yet, but as far as like slavery and all that, that's already done. Now the last thing is going to be the time of Jacob's trouble. But after that, there's no more punishment for Israel. The Lord ain't gonna have to chastise us no more, or punish us, or kill us, put us to death, because what? We're gonna be perfect. And the scriptures say the wages of sin is death. So if we're perfect, we're not even gonna die. We're gonna be immortal. That's where immortality comes in. Incorruptible.
Lamentation 4:22. The punishment of thine iniquity is accomplished, O daughter of Zion. He will no more carry thee away into captivity.
There you go. So we're not going into captivity no more, man. Ain't nobody gonna be over us anymore. All right? We're gonna be the greatest people on the planet, and it's gonna be known. And everybody's gonna reverence us and come to us. They're gonna come worship at our feet, come bowing their heads towards us. Okay.
Lamentation 5:4 finishes up verse 22. Lamentation 4:22. He will visit thy iniquity, O daughter of Edom.
Yeah, Edom. Iniquity. What's your iniquity, man? All the crimes you've done to us, man. All the atrocities you've done to us. Now you got to pay for that iniquity, man. You got to pay the tab up. You can't just walk out the bar now. You racked up a $3,000 bill. You think you're just gonna walk out the front door? Nah, man. Now you got to pay for it, man. And like Esau likes to say to Jake, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. Well, you did the crime, and now it's time for you to pay up. Now it's time for you to serve your punishment, your time. All right. Good.
He will discover thy sins.
Yeah. Good. That was it.
Yeah.
You got something?
Got a good precept.
Okay, read out.
This is Jeremiah 49:10. But I have made Esau bare. I have uncovered his secret places, and he shall not be able to hide himself. His seed is spoiled, and his brethren.
So real quick, Esau's not able to hide himself no more, man. Everybody sees the so-called white man for who he is. He's a liar. He's a murderer. He's a destroyer, and he can't hide. It's not like he can deny it. He can't hide himself no more. It's like, no, we're going into this country to bring peace. We're coming into this land to bring stability and democracy. No, you're going over there to bring destruction and mass murder. And so you can set up your BS doctrines. Okay, bring your democracy, which the country was doing fine before you got your red ass in there. Like Iraq and Libya, they were doing just fine. All that shit that they talk about on the news, oh, well, we went in there because of this, and look how the people were living. The people were living great. What you mean? I mean, not great, but they were doing good compared to how it is now over there. They had Libya had free health care. Now they're in shambles, man. They got civil uprisings everywhere because Esau did that. Look at Venezuela. They weren't like that a couple before Esau went down there and started the coups and all that, trying to set up their own leaders. And that's what it is, like Saddam Hussein, which Saddam Hussein was set up by Esau anyway. All right, he was part of Bush Senior. It's not Saddam Hussein. Well, Saddam too. Bin Laden. Oh, he was part of the CIA, man. He was a CIA operative. Even a damn terrorist. It's CIA, paid by the CIA. Go ahead. Let's go ahead.
His seed is spoiled, and his brethren, and his neighbors, and he is not. That's it on that.
He's not spoiled. God, because he's the only one. He not, like the scripture say, he's not in straits, man. He's not in trouble like other men. Well, he wasn't, but now he is. He started because the curses are falling upon him. But there was a time, like the 20s, between like 20s and the 50s, that era, they were there. Esau was living great. They wasn't bum Edomites. They were doing good, you know. They'd see niggas in a restaurant, beat you up because you had the wrong table.
They were not leaving the Beaver era.
Yeah, kind of. Yeah. That's over though, you know. That's all. That time's come to an end. Now nobody respects you, man. Jake knocking Edomites out in the middle of the street. You imagine that 50 years ago. They would have killed that man. Now Jake could just run up on an old Edomite, just sock his ass, lay him out cold, and they could just take off, never to be seen again. Because what? The Lord has exposed you, and the other nations don't respect you. All right, like Ishmael and Moab, them nations despise you, really. They're not afraid of you no more. They're like, do something. So we got the same capabilities you got now. Because what? Esau is divided in himself. You got the Russian Edomites against the American Edomites. All right, so they're all divided, man. And like the Lord said, a kingdom divided cannot stand, man. Okay.
There's Isaiah 51 and 22. Thus saith the Lord, thus saith the Lord Yahweh, Bashem Yahushai, in thy power, that pleadeth the cause of his people. Behold, I have taken out of thy hand the cup of trembling, even the dregs of the cup of my fury.
Yeah, and what was that, man? That was all the things we had to go through, man. Because we went through some horrible things, man, as a people, not just here in America, you know, for the last 500 years, but throughout history, man. Throughout all these different captivities, the Assyrian captivity, the Babylonians, the Medes, the Persians, the Greeks, the Romans. We've gone through some horrendous things, man. But what? The Lord is removing that. All right, he's taking that come from us and putting it on our enemies, mainly Esau, Edom. Because there's enough to go around for everybody. Everybody's going to get a cup, but Esau is going to get a double shot, you know. Everybody's going to get a straight shot, but Esau going to get a double shot of that 151, man. That moonshine. And he's going to have to throw it down. No chaser. You know, no spitting it back up, because you're going to have to drink it off the floor if that's the case. Go ahead.
Thou shalt no more drink it again.
Yeah, so we're not gonna have to drink the cup of slavery no more, man. The Lord's coming to redeem us, man. The Lord's coming to set us up on high. The Lord's gonna allow us to rule under His Son on this earth over all the other nations, just like they got to rule over us. I mean, that's fair. The Lord is a just and fair power. So if we had to serve slavery, it's only right that we get to put our enemies in slavery. They did all these atrocities to us. So in the eyes of the Lord, it's a righteous thing to recompense them, you know, and that's scriptural, that's biblical. Go ahead.
Isaiah 51 and 23, but I'll put into the hand of them that afflict thee.
Who afflicted us, man? Well, first and foremost, the so-called white man. To this day, still shooting you down in the streets. All right, they're still hanging people. You know, there's like just in last week there was like almost 10. They found 10 Jakes hanging up from the trees. So what's changed? They still look at you with disgust. They still call us niggas and spicks. But the Lord's coming to change all of that, man. Go ahead.
Isaiah 51 and 23, but I will put into the hand of them that afflict thee, which have said to thy soul, bow down, that we may go over. Thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over.
Yeah, so that's how they used to treat us, man, like a welcome mat in the front of your door, man. They walked all over us, man.
Matter of fact, they used to do that, man.
Yeah,
if there was a puddle, they would the so-called white man Esau Edom, he would tell the so-called Negro to lay down on the floor over the puddle, to lay in the puddle so his woman could step on him and walk over the puddle, man. That's what this damn devil did to our people, man. So we gonna use him as like a stepping stone, man.
Another account of Christopher Columbus and the islands, they just so they didn't have to walk around, the so-called conquistadors, right? They used to sit on your back while you carried them around the whole island, man. That's the devil for you. I'm talking about like not a piggyback ride. I'm talking about he's sitting on you, and you got to carry him around, man. Come on, man. That's who thinks of things like that? Like, seriously. I mean, the things that this white man did to us, so-called white man, did to us in slavery that's why they don't like to speak about it. That's why we read earlier that his shame shall be uncovered. These are shameful times. These are shameful acts they did to us.
This is Obadiah, chapter 15, or verse 15. This is the book of Obadiah, verse 15. It says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen."
Yeah, so again, it's not just the so-called white man that's going into slavery. It's going to be all the other nations that put us in captivity, that abused us, man. Which is all the other nations, man. So-called Chinese, the so-called Arabs, the so-called Africans, because our people are so-called Negro here in America, they're not African, all right? They're Hebrew Israelites. Those Africans, they're completely different people. Those are Hamites. Right? They're not the same as us. They don't have the same mannerisms, the same customs. All right, now we still got people, some of our people still left over there, mainly in the west coast of Africa, which the bulk of slaves came from the west coast of Africa. All right.
Hey, when you go into the Zandervan Bible Dictionary, when you go into the word Ham, it says the progenitor of the dark nations, not the Negroes.
Yep. So the biblical scholars know the difference between Africans, so-called Africans out there, like Ethiopians, Sudan, South Africa. They know there's a difference between them and the so-called Negroes that are here in America. Because if they were the same people, and Nelson Mandela even said it. They said, why aren't you going over there to America and liberating your people? He straight up said, because those aren't my people. Because he knows that the Negroes here are not the same people. The only ones that don't know that is our people.
That's why they look at us different.
Exactly. Yeah, you don't see like look, if it was a group of Jakes or so-called Negroes, right, and there was an African amongst them, he would stick out like a sore thumb. He would definitely stick out.
Oh yeah.
So back in verse 15, it says, "For the day of the Lord is near upon all the heathen. As thou hast done, it shall be done unto thee. Thy reward shall return upon thine own head."
So this is straight out of the Bible. The Lord said, "What as you have done, it's going to be done unto thee." These are actual photos. We didn't draw these. We didn't make this up. These are actual photos that were sent among postcards. They actually did these things, documented them. They got journals, like, you know, during the time of 1492 when Christopher Columbus came, they didn't have cameras, but they wrote down. They had journals. They had logs of the atrocities they would do. So all them things you did unto us, they have to be done unto you. Get a Revelation real quick, 13.
Verse 16. This is verse 16 in Obadiah. It says, "For as ye have drunk upon my holy mountain, so shall all the heathen drink continually. Yea, they shall drink, and they shall swallow down, and they shall be as though they had not been." Right, man, and that's what the other nations are going to do. Like the brother said, man, when you read the book of Revelation, it says, "Reward unto her double." So, and the brother read it in Lamentations 4, man. You're gonna give that cup onto them, but double, man. So the cup that the Israelites had to drink, the other nations, especially Esau, Edom, the so-called white men, they're gonna drink double, man. And the Lord said they're gonna swallow it down.
Yeah, you're not gonna be able to resist us. Because what? The Lord Himself is gonna come and do these things, man. Because that's what we're waiting on. We're not gonna march in the streets and demand equality. We're just gonna prophesy like we've been told to do and wait on the Lord. Because when the Lord comes back, He's gonna execute the judgment. All right, and then the Spirit just sent me the sign. This is what's gonna happen. See,
hey, that's
see how the Spirit works? This is gonna happen just like they did to us. They gonna be chained up. Their babies. We're gonna be. Me personally, I'm gonna be kicking their babies' heads off.
Yeah.
Because they did that to our babies, man. They used them as gator bait. That's another picture. It's documented. All right. They killed our women. They raped our men. We're not going to be raping men, though, all right? We're not going to be doing bug breaking. We're not going to be doing heinous crimes. We're just going to be executing, in pickle jars. That's where you get pickle jars. But we're gonna do righteous judgment, all right?
Okay. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1. 2 Thessalonians chapter 1, verse 6. "Seeing it is a righteous thing with the Most High to recompense tribulation to them that trouble you."
It's a righteous thing. In the eyes of Yahweh, by Shimi Yahushai, it's a righteous thing to recompense them, meaning pay them back for the trouble they've given us, man. So the Lord is with it. You know, and you see, Jake probably walked off because I said about the baby.
Yeah,
But,
yeah, he got
They did
offended.
it to us, man. It's a tough luck. He gonna do it in the kingdom anyway. You know, he might not be with it now.
You
Because the
will
Lord,
be.
you know, because he's in it. He don't know he's in captivity. You know, so you know he'll get it eventually. But as for us, we meditate in terror on these people, man. We can't wait till the Lord comes back so we can be right along with him, executing the vengeance, man. But like, Yahushua gonna be leading the charge. So imagine what Yahushua gonna do to these damn devils, man. Okay.
It's a Psalm, book of Psalm, chapter 137. I read 8 and 9. Psalm 137, verse 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed.
Yeah, America is the daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed. So America needs to be destroyed. It must be destroyed. It's going to be destroyed. All right, the daughter of Babylon. Because what? This is the same, you know, because Babylon was great. You know, the ancient Babylon was great. But this is the daughter of Babylon. Go ahead. And the daughter of Babylon grew up to be a whore, okay? A harlot. Go ahead.
Psalm 137 and 8. O daughter of Babylon, who art to be destroyed, happy shall he be that rewarded thee as thou hast served us.
Well, and that's good. First and foremost, be Yahushua, man. And then go right on down with his men, the elect, and then even the 2/3 of our people, man, they're gonna be happy beating you over the head. All right. Good.
Verse 9. Happy shall he be that taketh and dasheth thy little ones against the stones.
See? So it's biblical what I said. Kicking babies' heads off is biblical. And that's, you know, kicking heads off and dashing you up on the stones and breaking you to pieces is not much difference, you know? You're gonna die regardless. At least if you get your head get kicked off, it's an instant death. He might beat you over the stones a couple times, you're not dead, you know? But nonetheless, the point is that it's biblical, man. Getting on killing their babies, the Lord's with it. Because they did it to our babies, man. Before you was even born, that's where they get C-section from. They cut our women's stomachs open, rip the baby out, split them in half to see who's stronger. Let's see who got the sharpest sword. And just cutting Jake up, man.
I got a precept to go with that, what you just said. This is Hosea, chapter 13, verse 16.
You said Isaiah?
Hosea.
Hosea. Okay.
Hosea, chapter 13, verse 16. Samaria shall become desolate, for she hath rebelled against her power. They shall fall by the sword. Their infants shall be dashed in pieces.
Yeah, because that was speaking on Israel back then. But now that's talking about the Edomites, man. That's talking about the people that are doing all these atrocities unto us, man. Now their children are going to be dashed in pieces, slaughtered. Go ahead.
And their women with child shall be ripped up.
Ripped up, man. That literally happened to us, man. Well, like in Deuteronomy 30, you got it.
This is Deuteronomy chapter 30, verse 7. Deuteronomy chapter 30 and verse 7.
Because literally our kids were ripped up in pieces, man. By hands, man. They would just grab one leg, grab the other leg, and just rip you in half, man. Imagine how much of a brute beast you have to be to even think of doing that.
They used to tie the men up to horses.
That's why you get the Levi jeans.
Yeah, one by the legs, the other one by the arms, and they slapped the horse's ass and let the horses tear the man in half.
I was thinking about
But real quick, because the brother mentioned it, this is Deuteronomy 30 and 7. It says, "The Lord thy power will put all these curses upon thine enemies, and on them that hate thee, which persecuted thee." So everything that we read in the scriptures that happen on Israel is going to happen onto our enemies.
Everything. Yep. Okay. All the atrocities that were done to us, all the disrespect that was shown unto us, that's gonna happen unto the heathen now, man. Beginning with the Esau. He gonna be treated like the Esau's the new niggas, man. And it's already beginning. It's already begun, you know, and it's just gonna get worse and worse for these damn devils. And it's gonna only get better for the Israelites, beginning with the elect.
It's Revelation chapter 13.
That was it on that?
I got another precept.
Okay,
What
go
brother
ahead.
was just saying. This is Exodus chapter 23, verse 22. Exodus chapter 23, verse 22. But if thou shalt indeed obey his voice and do all that I speak, then I will be an enemy unto thine enemies,
Right.
and an adversary.
Now, real quick, who's doing that? The elect are obeying the Lord. So now the Lord, he has to hold fast to his word, because he's not expecting all of Israel to come back to him. He said that they're not going to, but since the elect are coming back to him and obeying him, then he's doing that. He's becoming an enemy unto our enemies instead of allowing them to rule over us and do all these things to us. Now he's becoming their enemies, man. Because remember, the Lord turned his face from us, but through the elect, he's coming back unto us. You know, he's turned back unto us, so to say. Go ahead.
And an adversary unto thine adversaries.
So the Lord is coming up against the adversaries that the Lord set up to do these things into us. Now which he allowed Satan to deal with them, especially Esau, to do all these things to us, to be our adversaries, to be our enemies. Now the Lord, he's calling Satan back home. Hey man, the hell with them, leave them out there, they hang, deal with it, figure it out, because that's how they've been able to conquer us and do all these things to us, because the Lord allowed them to. But now the Lord is contrary to them now, because what the elect are coming back unto him and obeying him. That was it.
That was it on that.
Okay. Yeah.
Revelation chapter 13, Revelation 13 and 9. If any man have an ear, let him hear. Verse 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity.
Yep. And that's exactly what's going to happen. We went into captivity, all right? And the ones that led us into captivity, now they have to go into captivity. This is what it said. Did it say must or shall? They shall. They shall go. Not should go. It says they shall go. So it's a definite, All right.
Revelation 13 and 10. He that leadeth into captivity shall go into captivity. He that killeth with the sword must be killed with the sword.
So they must be killed. Because what? They've used their sword to kill us, man. Put us in subjection to do all these horrible things unto us. So now it must be done unto them, right? And rightfully so. And it's going to be and we're going to do it in a better fashion. All right, we're going to show you how to really oppress, or rule over people, so to say. All right, because we're not going to oppress like Esau has done on this earth, man. Yeah, the nation's going to be a tributary to us, and then be put under our feet. But we're going to treat them right. That's why the scriptures say when the righteous are in authority, the people rejoice. We're not just going to be assholes like Esau is to the whole earth, destroying the earth, destroying the people, destroying the food you got to eat, the air you got to breathe, the water you got to drink. That's somebody that don't love him. That's what the scriptures say. If he do evil to himself, to whom will he do good? This man destroys the air, the same air he has to breathe. So if he's destroying himself, who's he going to do good to?
Finishing up Revelation 13 and 10. Here is the patience in the faith of the saints.
There you go, man. And that's going to be the beginning of the kingdom, man. Because their first job is going to be to bury the dead bodies while we execute the role of the government, so to say, the rulership. Right? And they're gonna go into slavery. They're gonna build up our kingdom just like we built theirs up. Right? They're gonna be out there in the fields. They're gonna be out there in the mines. All right, everything we had to do, they're gonna do. And the Lord is with it, man. And the Lord's gonna allow it. Okay? Get what's it? Damn, it just came to my mind. But this is about. Damn, I can't think of it right now. But nonetheless, man, this is biblical prophecy, man. This is something that must come to pass for the kingdom of heaven to be fully established, man. That's how the kingdom of heaven is gonna be built up, man. On the backs of our enemies, man. I can get you something.
All right.
Okay. You got something?
Yeah, I got something. It's the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, starting at verse 17. And the loftiness of man shall be bowed down.
Where's that?
Isaiah chapter 2. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 17. And the loftiness of man.
Start at 10 and then jump down.
At 10?
Yeah.
Okay. Isaiah chapter 2, verse 10. Enter into the rock and hide thee in the dust.
It's like 11.
Oh,
11.
The lofty looks.
Yeah, that's it.
Okay. All right. This is the book of Isaiah, chapter 2, verse 11. The lofty looks of man shall be humbled, and the haughtiness of men shall be bowed down.
Yep. And who's the most loftiest and proud people on the planet? Esau, Edom. That's why nobody said that pride has deceived thee, man.
God.
The pride of thy heart has deceived thee. So the Lord's coming to bring that down, man. The lofty looks and the lofty looks of our people too, especially our women. No? Go ahead.
And the Lord alone shall be exalted in that day.
That's right, man. The Lord alone is going to be exalted in that day, man. It ain't going to be about, oh, I did this and I did that. No, it's going to be about how Hashem Yahushai did this. All right? He was the one that brought the vengeance. He's the one that brought Esau's kingdom down.
You know? For the day of the Lord of hosts shall be upon everyone that is proud and lofty.
And that's everybody, really. Because what? They're proud against the Lord. They have lofty looks against the Lord, man. So it's going to come upon them, the day of the Lord. Okay?
And upon everyone that is lifted up, and he shall be brought low. You say jump down to... I can start.
Esau's going to be brought low, man. Because that's 17. The number one prideful person. So he's going to be brought back down to the faces of men, to the bottom of the food chain. Go ahead.
Verse 19. And they shall go into the holes of the rocks and into the caves of the earth for the fear of the Lord.
Yeah, because that's what Esau's going to try to do. They're going to try to hide. Yeah, that's why they got these deep underground military bases. Right? Who knows what they got? They probably got underground, underwater cities. They trying to what's it called? Make cities in mountains. You know. You know, and they show you that in movies, man. They got all these levels on the ground and shit. Because Esau knows that he ain't gonna be able to withstand what the Lord got coming, so he's gonna try to hide himself. And he actually believes that he can. That's why the pride comes in. Because he's so prideful that he thinks somehow he can escape the judgment of the Lord. Go ahead.
And for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth, in that day a man shall cast his idols of silver and his idols of gold, which they made each one for himself to worship, to the moles and to the bats, to go and to the clefts of the rocks, and unto the tops of the ragged rocks, for the fear of Yahweh by Hashem Yahushai, and for the glory of his majesty, when he ariseth to shake terribly the earth. Cease ye from man, whose breath is in his nostrils, for wherein is he to be accounted of.
That's the end of the chapter. When the Lord comes to shake the earth, how he gonna do that, man? With the missiles or the chariots, right? This is gonna cause the earth to reel to and fro, man, like a drunkard. So it don't matter if they once they go into them bunkers down there. Guess what? We gonna come get them. All right. That's why the Lord say the hunter or he shall send for fishers and then he shall send for hunters. Because what? Because we gonna come and hunt these damn devils down. Wherever they at, we gonna come get them. We gonna come shackle them. The King of Kings, man. If imagine, King David killed tens of thousands. Imagine what the Lord can do, man, when he comes back in his glory, with power and in his glory, man. You got something else out?
You want that precept you're talking about?
Yeah, you get that, yeah.
Okay, this is the book of Jeremiah, chapter 16, starting at verse 16. Behold, I will send for many fishers, saith the Lord.
That's what we're doing right now. We're out here fishing. But for what? Fishing, because like the Lord told the disciples, I shall make thee fishers of men. We're out here fishing for the elect of the nation of Israel. All right? Go ahead.
And they shall fish them, and after will I send for many hunters, and they shall hunt them from every mountain, and from every hill, and out of the holes of the rocks.
There you go. And the brother just read that they're going to be trying to hide in those holes. They're trying to hide from the judgment of the Lord, trying to hide from the devastation that's coming. But you ain't gonna be able to hide because what? The Lord gonna send hunters out, and we ain't gonna need GPS like Esau needs and the ultrasonic waves and all that. Nah, man, we just gonna know exactly where you are, man. We don't have to look for you. We gonna know where you at, and we gonna be able to just, we don't have to even break the door down. We can just disappear, teleport in there, just pop up. Just like the Lord did, when he popped up to the disciples after he resurrected, he just popped up, teleported there, said shalom. We're gonna do that to Esau, man. Just fuck with him. You know, they're probably all gonna be looking at the door, boom, here beating, and then we'll just pop up behind them. just be standing in the crowd with them. Like, what y'all looking for? And then you're gonna smack a couple of them around and put them in chains, man. Go ahead and get that.
This is Isaiah chapter 14. I'll start at verse 1. It says, "For the Lord will have mercy on Jacob, and will yet choose Israel, and set them in their own land. And the strangers shall be joined with them, and they shall cleave to the house of Jacob."
Yeah, let's talk about the Israelite foreigners, right? The ones that don't know they're Israelites. They're gonna cleave unto the house of Israel. Go ahead.
"And the people shall take them, and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids, and they shall take them captives, whose captives they were."
That's right. So we're gonna take them captive, whose captives we were, man. So the ones that put us in captivity, like we read in Revelation 13, they gotta go into captivity. How is that gonna happen? Because the Lord is gonna allow us to put them in captivity, right? And we're gonna possess them for servants and handmaids.
Sorry, y'all. We've been trying to load it up. We don't know what else to do with it.
It's all good, man. It's all
I
good.
feel bad every time we do it.
All right, man. Appreciate it. Go ahead, read it again.
It says, "And the people shall take them and bring them to their place, and the house of Israel shall possess them in the land of the Lord, for servants and handmaids."
Servants and handmaids. What do you use servants and handmaids for? To serve you. We're not gonna be turning our own butter. I mean, you know, making our own wine. Nah, man. That's your servant's job. Picking cotton. Esau wasn't out there picking his own cotton.
Yeah.
Yeah, remember we did they crashed in the Bank of America building one time.
It says, "And they shall take them captives, whose captives they were, and they shall rule over their oppressors."
Yeah, we're gonna rule over our oppressors, man. And who's oppressing us to this day? The Lord said we're gonna rule over them. Get Revelation chapter 2. Get one more, verse 3.
This is verse 3. "And it shall come to pass in the day that the Lord shall give thee rest from thy sorrow, and from thy fear."
Well, remember we read the parable about the Lazarus, those sores, and how was he comforted in the bosom of Abraham? So that's where we're gonna get. What do you say? Was it comfort or rest? Rest. So that's gonna be that rest, man. When the Lord returns, that's when we're gonna get rest, man. From what all this hell we gotta catch every day, all right? All the atrocities that be done to us. All right, when the Lord returns, that's when we're gonna get rest, man. That's why the scriptures say, "Come up out of her, my people, for this is not your rest." You can't have rest in this society.
It says, "And from thy fear, and from the hard bondage wherein thou wast made to serve."
And the hard bondage we made to serve was here, mainly here in America, man. The worst bondage we had to serve.
Yeah, more than that. I mean, there's more, but
It's like 10 things to say. Right on here.
So, Revelation chapter 2, and start at verse 25. Revelation chapter 2, verse 25. With that which ye have already, hold fast till I come. Verse 26. He that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations.
Yep.
Verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron, as the vessels of a potter's shall. As the vessel of a potter shall they be broken to shivers.
Right, because this was promised to Yahushua, man. And get that real quick. Psalm chapter, is it Psalm 2? Because this was promised of the Yahushua to rule over the nations with a rod of iron. Okay, and the elect, well, ultimately the whole nation of Israel, but beginning with the elect, we're joint heirs with Yahushua. So we're gonna inherit what he gets to inherit. You know, joint rulers with him. That's why he said he's going to give us that power to rule over the nations. But we have to endure to the end. You know? Overcome this place, man. Overcome this world like Yahushua did. Yeah.
Psalm chapter 2, Psalm 2 and 8. Ask of me, and I shall give thee the heathen for thine inheritance, and the uttermost parts of the earth for thy possession. Verse 9. Thou shalt break them with the rod of iron.
Yep, that rod of iron is going to be that scepter the Lord gives us to rule over them, man. All right, and we're going to rule over them with great authority, man. Right? Not like you Edomite manager at your job that's scared to come and tell you to do something, man. Now we gonna rule with a rod of iron, man. You either get with the program or get dashed into pieces.
Thou shalt dash them in pieces like a potter's vessel.
So you grab a vase, you just throw that down and breaks into pieces. That's how we're gonna do our inheritance, you know, our possession. Because when you inherit something, you getting a possession. You know, you getting some property or something. You're getting a what's it called? You're taking a ownership of whatever you're inheriting. You know, and the Lord said we're gonna inherit them. We're gonna inherit those that oppressed us. Right? We're gonna rule over them. Go ahead.
Revelation chapter 2, I'll read 26 again. Revelation 2 and 26. And he that overcometh and keepeth my works unto the end, to him will I give power over the nations. Verse 27. And he shall rule them with a rod of iron. As the vessels of a potter shall they be broken to shivers. Even as I received of my Father.
There you go. So yeah, this is Yahushua that's going to receive that. But he said he's going to give us that if we endure to the end. You know? Going back to that being joint heirs, man. Well, we have to endure. We have to obey and overcome. And how you overcome ultimately by, you know, resisting, taking the mark of the beast, you know, continue to serve the Lord. And then all that's going to be given unto us. Because first Yahushua got to get it. You know, he's the first inheritor, so to say. Right? He's the main inheritor. You know, and then just like because we're joint heirs, pretty much like co-signers. Like when you co-sign for a car for somebody, yes, you're signing for them so they can get it, but they're the main owners. You know, they're the main possession. You know, so we're gonna be like those co-signers, so to say.
Okay. Psalms 149, verse 5. Psalms chapter 149 and verse 5. It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory."
Like we read in Revelation 13, the saints, the faith and the patience of the saints is what? See them that put us in captivity, go to captivity. See those that killed us be killed. You know, so the saints are the Israelites, man. Go ahead.
It says, "Let the saints be joyful in glory. Let them sing aloud upon their beds. Let the high praises of the Most High be in their mouth, and a two-edged sword in their hand."
That's right, man. So while we praising the Lord, we're going to have a sword in our hand, man. Go ahead.
"To execute vengeance upon the heathens."
Yep, so we're going to get to execute vengeance upon the heathens with Yahushua. Because Yahushua vengeance is of the Lord, but he's going to have a squad with him, which is going to be the elect. So we're going to get the, that's why I say that we're going to have to be praising the Lord. You know, God, Yahushua, slice some people up. You know? Go ahead.
It says, "And punishments upon the people, to bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron."
Yeah, so all those are the first ones going into slavery. The Rothschilds, the Rockefellers, all right, the elites. They're going to be the first ones to feel them chains. All right, they're nobles, or you know, the lower people that aren't the elites. You know, they got their noble people, noble Edomites, so to say, like they're well known, like Bill Gates. You know, he's not an elite, but he'd be considered a noble. He's going into slavery too, because he probably got enough money to make it into a bunker or a spaceship, whatever they got. You know, well, he's going good. The more the merrier. You know. Well, what's his name? Tesla dude. Elon Musk. You know, that devil's going into slavery too. See, at least in the average day Edomite, you're just gonna die and wake up in the kingdom. These people are gonna experience, you know, the transition. You know, they're gonna live it.
It says, "To bind their kings with chains and their nobles with fetters of iron, to execute upon them the judgment written."
What's the judgment written, man? Everything we've been reading. The Lord's gonna allow us to partake in that, executing that judgment. Go ahead.
"This honor have all his saints, praise ye Yahweh."
Man, it's an honor. You know, it's like, you know, somebody does something honorable, you get praised for it. Well, it's an honor to put these devils into slavery. All the heathen, you know, not because it ain't just gonna be Esau that makes it past. It's gonna be Gooks. You know, you're gonna have Moabites, because you got elites among every nation. You know, so all of them going into slavery, man. But first and foremost, Esau, Edom, because he's the one in rulership of the earth right now. So they're gonna be the first ones, all right, to go into slavery, all right, to taste of that, to taste of the judgment that the Lord got coming. And again, and the ones that are going to be helping you, how should I do it? It's going to be an honor. Like, you know how they say it's been an honor serving with you. It's going to be an honor serving with your house, right? Putting these damn devils in slavery, man. I'm talking about it's going to be fun. We're going to have fun with it too. You know, because right now we just fishing. When you fishing, you got to have patience. You're not out there beating on the water and shit. You know, scaring the fish away. So we got the bait out here, scriptures, the sign. You know, and we're waiting patiently. And once we get all the fish that the Lord requires, you know, that's it. And then now we become hunters. And when you're a hunter, you get down. You're out there to kill. You know, you're out there for sport, so to say. All right? So this is what's coming, man. And this is what we truly believe. And our faith lies in this. We believe that the Lord is going to come and allow us to do these things. All we got to do is keep the word. You know, remember who we learned them from, and just continue to endure. And the Lord's going to reward us for this. You know, this is not get that the Lord is not unrighteous and give that you know, because this is you know, you don't go to work for no reason, right? You expect to be paid. You know, so you know, we're doing this first and foremost because it's commanded of us. It's a requirement. You know, we're trying to please you. How about Shem Yahushai? You know, first and foremost, that's what we're doing it. But we also expect a reward from this, man. You know, he that, like Paul said, he said, he that runneth the race, runneth to obtain a prize. Man, you don't just join a marathon just for that. That's retarded. Why would you join something? You know, you enter a tournament just for the hell of it. No, you want to win. You know, and that's why Jake has that competitive nature. You know, because it's in us. We want to accomplish whatever we set our mind to, you know. And that says you got to have that mentality for the Lord, you know. You had something else?
I mean, the Hebrews 6 and 10, you got it? Okay.
Okay.
Okay. This is the book of Hebrews, chapter 6, verse 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love.
Yeah, so what's the work? We're out here working. This is a job. That's why the Lord likened this ministry unto labor. You know, the harvest is great, but the laborers are few. You know, he uses countless parables about being servants. You know, this is a job. This is an occupation, right? This isn't a gig or part-time job. This is a career. This is our occupation. Like in the movie the 300. You know, he said, you, what do you do? I'm a baker. And you, blacksmith. They said, Spartans, what's your occupation? And they were all on one accord. Oh, because what? That's how the elect's gonna be all of one mind. We all have, we got jobs, you know, that we got to do to sustain ourselves, to feed ourselves and our families. But what? Our occupation is being warriors for Yahweh Shem Yahushai. Because really, we're warriors out here. We're fighting things that you can't even see. We're casting down strongholds, like the scriptures say. How's it go? About principalities, the rulers of this world. We find that again, not against flesh and blood, against spirits and principalities, and powers in high places. Exactly. So we out here battling, man. We out here and we winning. You know, and you don't even know it. Here it is. We cast it. The Lord is using us to tell you that America is going to be destroyed, and you have no idea what's going on. You don't even know why all these riots are happening. You think it's because of Black Lives Matter. The Lord don't give two shits about Black Lives Matter. That was set up by the so-called white man, first of all. But what? The Lord got his prophets out here doing the real protesting. All right, you want to talk about protesting? We're protesting the rulers of this earth, man. We're protesting the wickedness of this society. You protesting a grimy nigga that got killed. The Lord judged him, man. Whether it was a psyop or not, the Lord judged him. Right? But we standing up. Yeah, kind of. Yeah. So we standing for what really matters, man. The Lord matters, man. All right, and that's what we stand boldly and proclaim. And the Lord's going to reward us for that. Go ahead, Matt.
Hebrews 6 and 10. For the Most High is not unrighteous to forget your work and labor of love.
Yeah, so the Lord's not unrighteous. He's not just going, okay, well, yeah, you know what, they did what I told them, but whatever. No, man, the Lord's going to reward us for this, man. He's going to give us according to our work, man. And Lord's will, we are part of the elect. We all gonna receive the same prize, right? We all are gonna receive that 1 penny. This is and that's all we need. Because we're gonna what? Our reward's gonna be everlasting. You know, we're not looking for temporal rewards or corruptible prize or corruptible crown. We want an eternal crown, something that's gonna last forever. And that's why we'll fight. We'll come out here week in, week out. No matter what happens this week, well, guess what? We still be out here next week. We don't care who come up against us or what they say. You ain't gonna change our mind. We've already been persuaded. You know, we know what we talking about is right. We know that the Bible is true because the prophecies let us know. And even before the prophecies were happening, we were still convinced of this is the way. You know, so no matter what you say or how you feel, we're gonna continue to do this because, like brothers reading, the Lord is gonna reward us for it, man. And we believe that.
Okay. Which ye have showed toward his name.
Yeah, that's great. What do? We always praise Yahweh Shem Shai when we end, when we begin, and when we end. So we're doing this love towards his name. We're trying to magnify Yahweh Shem Shai. We're trying to magnify his name, all right? A name that has been hidden for ages, all right? Go ahead.
And that ye have ministered to the saints and do minister.
And that we're ministering now, man, to the saints. We're servants unto our people, man. The Lord sent out servants, you know. The Lord, he was a servant himself. He was a minister. And that's what we out. The Lord sent out servants to do his job, you know. And that's all we got to do. And as long as we continue to do it, we're going to be good. And the Lord's going to reward us, man. But we got to believe that, you know, and just keep on keeping on. And we'll end on this, get Mark 13. Because hey, this is you gotta to get that reward. You have to finish the race, though. You don't get to finish the race even if you 8 steps away from the finish line. If you didn't cross that finish line, you don't get the reward. Yeah. You got something?
Wisdom of Solomon, chapter 6, verse 19. And corruption maketh us dear unto the power. Verse 20. Therefore, the desire of wisdom.
That's right, man. So we desire wisdom. So what? It's bringing us to the kingdom, man. Because Yahweh said the kingdom begins within us. So the more you seek the wisdom, the closer you get to the kingdom, man. And seeking the wisdom, you're seeking the wisdom while you're working. You know, you have to maintain this job, or you can't be fired or quit on the job. You gotta keep working, and then keep seeking that wisdom, and then we get closer and closer to the kingdom. All right, but again, you have to finish that race. Go ahead. We'll close out on this. 13.
This is Mark chapter 13, verse 13. And ye shall be hated of all men for my name's sake.
Yeah. So that's part of the laboring, being hated. You know, because we're doing a righteous work, but we're gonna be hated for it for the name of Yahweh on your side. Go ahead.
It says, but he that shall endure unto the end, the same shall be saved.
Right, so we have to endure to the end, and the same shall be saved. But hey, as long as we endure, keep on, hey, the Lord is going to reward us. All right, but the key word is endure to the end. All right, whatsoever that may be, it means you got to get put to death. But as long as you endure and you hold fast to the faith, you know, you endure to the end. You know, if you had to die as a martyr, then that means you endure to the end. You know, and then you're gonna come right back with Yahweh. You know, and then if you endure to the chariots, that's the best. Ultimately, that's the best case scenario for us, because we want to see the downfall of our enemy. We want to see the destruction of this place, and we want to see the salvation, man. We want to be partaking that, you know, getting beamed up into the chariot. We want to be partakers of that, and so our enemies can behold us, man. All right. Anything else like that? All right. So with that, you know, we want to give all praise, glory, and honor to
Yahweh, Ba'ashem, Yahweh Shai, Ba'ashem, Rakakadash.
Give honors to the elder apostles, great millstone. The salutation and much love to Yakim out there. Shalom.
Shalom.